Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. At the beginning, he scolded the principal and awakened the strongest sun god. Chapter 41. What did you say? You actually want me to apologize to you? Guzu's eyes widened in shock. That's for sure. Lin Yong looked matter of fact. How much impact did it have on my personal image when you slandered me like that? Is it justified if you don't apologize to me? What are you apologizing for? You have slapped me 3 times just now. Isn't that enough? Guzu resisted. What is his identity? How can he humbly apologize to others in front of so many people? How can this be done? No, you deserve it when I hit you. Apologizing to me is the compensation you must make after slandering me. Lin Yong was confident. Guzu's face turned black with anger. He was about to mobilize other students to put pressure on Lin Yong. However, before he could say anything, Shang Renxin came over again. Classmate Guzu, I think you should apologize to this classmate. This classmate is right. You have slandered others and damaged their image, so you should apologize. And now, you have been beaten down by others. If you don't apologize, I'm afraid you will still be beaten. When the time comes, your face is swollen, why bother? Shang Renxin said with a submissive look. Puff. As soon as this was said, many students in the classroom burst into laughter. Guzu was also dumbfounded. I asked this classmate, are you sick? Are you here to break up a fight or expose my scars? Are you here to break up a fight like this? You don't know how to break up a fight, so why don't you just shut up? Please. But in fact, despite Shang Renxin's genius in persuading people to fight, what he said was rough and unreasonable. It was Guzu who was wrong in the first place. He pretended to be cool and was completely abused by Lin Yong. Apologizing now is indeed the best solution. Guzu refused to give in. He gritted his teeth and said, let me apologize to you. Do you know who I am? I am the second high school student in Sha State, a genius among geniuses. I have millions of fans online. The second high school student in the Sha Kingdom, the genius among geniuses, didn't I beat him to the ground in 2 blows? Lin Yong interrupted. Ha 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 ha. At this time, many students in the classroom really couldn't hold it in anymore and laughed out loud. Guzu was now humiliated and sent to his grandma's house. He originally wanted to use identity suppression to force Lin Yong to surrender, but he didn't expect that when Lin Yong said this, the brighter his aura became, the harder he fell. I'm telling you, you'd better not be too proud. You are indeed better than me, but do you know who my dad is? My dad is. Guzu was so angry that his body was shaking. He had never been laughed at by so many people when he was so old. He immediately wanted to move out. But unfortunately, the words came to my lips but I couldn't say them out. The reason is very simple. Why did he, Guzu, come to the Gods Cultivation Academy? To work as an undercover agent to cause destruction. If he now declares his family status and says that his father is the leader of a top university, wouldn't this arouse suspicion? So he really can't say. Your father is Li Gang. Lin Yong smiled. Okay, since your dad is so good, then you take him here for a walk, and I'll slap him twice and ask him how he raised his son. PFF'd ha 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 ha. The students in the classroom laughed like crazy. What the hell are you bringing here? Dog, this classmate's words amused me to death. Not far from the classroom corridor, a tall man wearing a teacher's uniform of the Gods Training Academy was walking over. He seemed a little nervous. The same goes for the dean. He asked me to lead the class, but he also had to emphasize how important that classmate Lin Yong is. Doesn't this put pressure on me? Senior teacher Wei Bo couldn't help but complain. It has been 10 years since he came to the Gods Cultivation Academy. Originally, it would be his first time to lead a class, so he would be somewhat nervous. He leads Class A, the strongest class full of geniuses, and the pressure is a little higher. In the class, there was Qianjin Luo Saitong, the dean who was involved in the centenary plan of their Gods Cultivation Academy. The pressure increased a little more. This was already quite stressful, but Dean Luo PC had talked to him specifically not long ago, saying that besides Luo Saitong, there was another classmate named Lin Yong in Class A who needed to pay more attention. Even that classmate Lin Yong was no less important than Luo Saitong. Luo PC half-jokingly called it another century-old plan, which directly put him under great pressure. Speaking of Dean, have you ever considered that this is my first time leading a class? But in fact, we really can't blame Luo PC for emphasizing this. Judging from the information he learned about Lin Yang from Luo Sidong in the past 6 days, even if he was a little reluctant, he was absolutely sure that Lin Yang's qualifications and supernatural talents were probably better than his precious daughter Luo Sidong. It might even be better than the strongest high school student Xiao Yuchen. He must have more to explain about such a gem. Wei Bo took a breath, and after some thought, he decided to focus on the key points. Anyway, in the class, the dean's daughter Luo Sidong and the classmate named Lin Yang are the most important and must be taken care of. Well, that's it. After figuring it out, Wei Bo breathed a sigh of relief. PFF ha 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 ha. As soon as he walked to the door of the classroom, Wei Bo was about to tidy up his clothes, but he heard a roar of laughter coming from inside. This immediately made him a little strange. What's wrong? The atmosphere inside is so cheerful. If the atmosphere is cheerful, it means that the classmates have a harmonious relationship, which is good. Wei Bo said with a pleased smile on his face and walked into the classroom. However, as soon as he walked in, he was dumbfounded. The classroom was in a mess. There was a large puddle of water on the ground, the walls were dented, and there were students staring at each other, and the atmosphere was tense. What the hell is harmony? This is all done. And when he took a closer look, he was even more dumbfounded. One of the parties involved in this was Lin Yang, whom Dean Luo PC had specially told. As for the other party, the second high school student in Sha Kingdom, Jiu Ziyu. No one is easy to mess with. Wei Bo's head was getting big. By the way, school has just started, old man. This is my first time as a class teacher, could you please make me worry less? Wei Bo didn't dare to neglect anymore and ran over quickly. What happened? When Jiu Ziyu saw Wei Bo coming, it was like seeing a savior, and his eyes suddenly lit up. Teacher Wei, it's great that you are here. Jiu Ziyu stood up quickly, and complained with an extremely exaggerated expression. I was just joking with this classmate just now, and he actually hit me with his water-based ultimate move, and slapped me repeatedly to humiliate me. Wei teacher, do you think he went too far? You must seek justice for me. As for Lin Yang, he couldn't beat him or talk about it, so he had no choice but to ask Wei Bo to come forward. He felt that since he was the second high school student in Sha State and a well-known figure, Wei Bo would definitely give him some face and help him calm down the storm. At that time, he wouldn't have to humbly apologize to Lin Yang in front of everyone. Uncle Wei is not like that. Teacher Wei, it was he who provoked Lin Yang first, said a lot of unpleasant things, and even wanted to take action, so Lin Yang dealt with him. Luo Sidong stood up immediately. She couldn't let Jiu Ziyu talk nonsense. Teacher Wei, don't listen to classmate Luo Sidong. She has a good relationship with that classmate, so she must be helping him. Jiu Ziyu tried his best not to apologize to Lin Yang in public. Teacher Wei, the reason why I chose your school at that time was because of its reputation. If you insist on showing favoritism to Luo Sidong today because she is the daughter of the dean, that classmate, Jiu Ziyu, will consider dropping out of school. As the son of a leader of a top school, Jiu Ziyu also knows how some schools deal with things. If the incident becomes too big and affects a wide range of things, the school will handle it conservatively. No matter how unfair things are, they will choose to let things go. Who is he? The second high school student in the Sha Kingdom, a genius among geniuses, with both qualifications and talent to speak of, and he also has millions of fans online. How huge is his influence? If he drops out of school, how much damage will it cause to the Gods Training Academy? How much attention will it attract online? With such serious consequences, just think about it and you will know that Wei Bo will help him. Hiss. Many students around were shocked. They didn't expect Jiu Ziyu to make such a big fuss. Wei Bo frowned slightly. Even though he has a big head and feels like cursing in his heart, he is still a senior teacher at the Gods Cultivation Academy, and he is calm on the surface and has a clear mind. Finding out the truth is the first priority now. Wei Bo looked at Shang Renxin and other students. Which student can tell me what happened? Teacher, let me tell you. Shang Renxin thought that he was going to run for class president and had to adapt to the situation of standing up for the class in advance, so he walked out to explain the situation to Wei Bo. He didn't take sides, he just said whatever the matter was. Gu Ziyu's face looked a little bad, but he still managed to stay calm. Anyway, his flag has been set. Once he sided with Lin Yang, he would consider dropping out of school. He felt that Wei Bo would eventually help him settle the matter. Who is the young master? The second high school student in Sha Kingdom. If I side with that guy, I will drop out of school. How dare he not stand by me? Does he dare? He dare not do it. Gu Ziyu felt confident. So that's it. Wei Bo nodded. Now that the matter was understood, and it was indeed similar to what Luo Saidong said before, it was Gu Ziyu who started the trouble, so he would not hesitate at all. Wei Bo turned his head and glared at Gu Ziyu coldly. Classmate Gu Ziyu, apologized to classmate Lin Yang immediately. Quote. Gu Ziyu was completely stunned. Teacher, what did you say? You asked me to apologize to him. Gu Ziyu couldn't believe it. He was wondering if he heard wrongly. Didn't he just say that once he sides with Lin Yang, he will consider dropping out of school? Did the teacher not hear it, or did he not understand it? Don't you know if I drop out of school, the Gods Training Academy will suffer heavy losses? And once I post the matter online, the Gods Cultivation Academy will also be pushed to the forefront. Is this teacher mentally ill? He didn't help me calm down the storm. Yes, since you were the one who started it, slandering classmate Lin Yang as AD-level waste and causing such a bad impact on classmate Lin Yang, then you should apologize to classmate Lin Yang. Wei Bo nodded and said seriously. In fact, Gu Ziyu overestimated himself a bit. From Wei Bo's point of view, not to mention that Gu Ziyu caused the incident, even if the situation was like what Gu Ziyu said and Lin Yang overreacted and couldn't take a joke, and the conflict started, he would probably choose to side with Lin Yang and Luo Saidong. After all, he knew which one was lighter and which one was heavier. You, Gu Ziyu, are the second high school student in Sha State. You are a genius among geniuses. You are truly outstanding. But in front of Lin Yang and Luo Saidong, is he considered a der? You, Gu Ziyu, have outstanding qualifications and talents, and my Luo Saidong and Lin Yang are even more outstanding, okay. Moreover, both of them are related to a 100-year plan of the Gods Training Academy, that is, 200-year plans. No matter how awesome Gu Ziyu is, can you compare with our college's 2-century plans? You actually threatened me with expulsion from school. You are so stubborn about retreating that our Gods Cultivation Academy is short of half a student of yours. Puff. Many students in the classroom burst into laughter. They had long seen what kind of tricks Gu Ziyu was playing, which was just to make a trivial matter bigger and then apply pressure to make the matter go away. But Teacher Wei didn't accept this trick at all. In the end, no matter how much trouble he made, he still had to apologize obediently, which made him laugh to death. Lin Yang smiled easily, and he was not too surprised by this result. What is his position in the Gods Training Academy? That is the man Luo Saidong, the dean's daughter, needs most. Whether it is Luo Saidong or the centenary plan of the Gods Training Academy, how dependent are they on him? It is no exaggeration to say that without him, Luo Saidong's accumulation of divine attributes and the century-old plan of the Gods Training Academy would be almost impossible to implement. In view of his special nature, how much care does Dean Luo PC take for him? Moreover, the relationship between Luo Saidong and him was getting better and better, and he felt that he could kidnap the dean's daughter anytime and anywhere. In this case, it is not too much to say that the Gods Training Academy is half of his territory, right? In half of his territory, what could Gu Ziyu, an outsider, do to fight him? It's simply overestimating one's abilities, isn't it? Well, classmate Gu Ziyu and the teacher have already spoken. Why don't you apologize to classmate Lin Yang quickly? Otherwise, you will be beaten again later. Shang Renxin hesitated for a moment, but couldn't help but say. He will be the class president in the future. If some students in this class are confused, does he need to persuade them? He also remembered Lin Yang's name. Shang Renxin felt that Lin Yang was very powerful. He could defeat Gu Ziyu, the second high school student in Shaw State, with 2 moves. He was very powerful, so he felt that he should have a good relationship with Lin Yang. At that time, if any classmates in the class encounter any difficulties that he cannot solve, they can also ask Lin Yang for help. Ha 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 ha. As soon as these words came out, there was another laugh from the side. Quote. Guzu even wanted to drag Shang Renxin out and beat him, just to add salt to his wounds every time. I know you want to break up the fight, but can you first figure out what the word, break up, means, brother? Guzu raised his eyes and found that Lin Yang raised his hand slightly, condensing a small flame in his left hand and a small water dragon in his right hand. Young Master Gu, we'd better apologize quickly. Otherwise, if that guy does it again, we may be in a terrible situation. The dog-legged Wang Dao was a little afraid of Lin Yang. He hid behind Guzu and shivered. He was quite afraid that while Lin Yang was dealing with Guzu, he would also deal with him. Guzu felt very unhappy, but now that the situation was like this, there was nothing he could do. This classmate, I'm sorry for. I shouldn't have slandered you just now, I shouldn't have called you a D-level waste. I apologize to you. Guzu apologized. He had to apologize. After all, not only was Lin Yang's side right now, but his teachers and classmates were also on Lin Yang's side, and he couldn't beat Lin Yang. In order to avoid being dealt with by Lin Yang again, he had to apologize to Lin Yang humbly. Okay, I accept your apology. But I hope you will have a longer memory in the future and stop slandering others casually. Lin Yang smiled slightly and dispersed the flames and water dragons on his palms. After all, not everyone is as tolerant as me. Luo Saidong was amused, while Guzu's brows twitched. Mad, are you magnanimous? I just said that to you, slapped me 3 times, and even me with a water-based ultimate move. What do you call magnanimity? I'm lenient, you big-headed idiot. He must be scolding her in his heart, but on the surface he didn't dare to say anything more. Well, teacher, my clothes are soaked. I'm going to change clothes first. After Guzu finished speaking, he wanted to run away. Go and change clothes, right? Yes, but will you come back to class? Weibo thought for a while and asked, or are you packing your things and dropping out of school after changing your clothes? Ha 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 ha. At this time, most of the students in the classroom laughed. Even Lin Yang and Luo Saidong couldn't help laughing. Quote. Guzu was so embarrassed that he wanted to find a crack in the ground and crawl in. However, he couldn't really drop out of school because he came to the Gods Cultivation Academy for an undercover mission, and he couldn't do it when he went back. Haha, actually, I was just joking. Guzu was so embarrassed that he almost wanted to blow himself up, but he could only force out a smile that was uglier than crying. Teacher, I'm going to change clothes first. After speaking, Guzu quickly left. Teacher, I will accompany Mr. Gu. The dog-legged Wang Dao was also quite embarrassed, saying that he also wanted to leave together. You want to accompany me when I change clothes? Classmate Guzu, you are more girly than a girl. Weibo couldn't help but complain. PFF ha 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 ha. Many students in the classroom burst out laughing. Luo Saidong covered her mouth and laughed like, goose goose. Lin Yang was also a little overwhelmed. Is this teacher so humorous? He has 3 kills, right? Awesome. Quote. Guzu was so embarrassed that he almost wanted to commit suicide. He turned around and glared at Wang Dao fiercely. I mean, you still think I'm not embarrassed enough, right? Get back here. Wang Dao was a little depressed. I just wanted to accompany you, Mr. Gu, to change clothes. Is this wrong? Wow, I'm disgusted. After Guzu left, the head teacher Weibo held a class meeting. During this period, the news about Lin Yang's 2-stroke attack on Guzu, the second high school student in Sha country, gradually spread. The first to receive the news were the freshmen in the 1st grade. Look at the forum. Guzu, the second high school student in Sha Kingdom, was on the first day of school, and he was completely tortured. Did he provoke the senior brothers and sisters? What senior brother and senior sister? No, the classmate who Guzu is a freshman just like us. Freshman? No way. In our class, He is the second most talented person after Xiao Yuchen, the strongest high school student. I heard that his strength has now reached the second level of mid to high level. There are still people among the freshmen who can do it. Lie on him. Who is that freshman who Guzu? Which class is he from? It seems that that classmate is in class A just like Guzu. It looks like one of our freshmen has already surpassed Guzu, that's awesome. Due to the lively discussion among the first-year students, it also attracted the attention of other students in the Gods Training Academy. Have you read the school forum? I heard that something happened among the freshmen on the first day of school. The second high school student in Sha Kingdom, Guzu, who was so popular that he finally chose our Gods Training Academy, was beaten by the same class. Another freshman got killed. I also saw it. According to the comments on the forum, the freshman who beat Guzu with 2 moves seems to be named Lin Yang. He is very close to the Dean Qianjin Saitong, and he seems to have been specially recruited by the school. Specially recruited? Real or fake? Our school hasn't recruited students specially for many years. Grandma, are these new students so changeable? I thought that Guzu, who is in the middle and high level of the second level, is already very changeable. That Lin Yang can beat Guzu with 2 moves, and his strength is probably even at the third level. Is it above? I'm already a sophomore and haven't reached the third level yet. Haha, that's your thing. Oh, are you going to defeat Guzu from Sha Country's second high school with 2 moves? It seems like he is the strongest among the freshmen in this class, right? A charming-looking red-haired woman was holding a mobile phone. She looked at the content on the mobile phone forum and couldn't help but lick her lips. Such a powerful junior brother, it seems I have to get to know him well. Not far away, there were several boys who heard what the red-haired woman said. They couldn't help but shuddered, and there was some sympathy in their eyes. It's over. The new student named Lin Yang has been targeted by this witch. I'm afraid he will be crippled. It's not a fear, it's a certainty, okay. The freshmen who are targeted by this witch every year will 100% become useless. At the same time, screenshots of someone's forum and pictures of Guzu slumped on the ground covering his face and feeling aggrieved were posted online, which also attracted a lot of attention online. Especially Guzu's fan base. They launched an offensive in the comments section below that content. This photo is definitely fake. Our brother is the second high school student in Sha Country. How could he be beaten up by a freshman who is also a freshman? Expletive. Impossible, absolutely impossible. Angry. The rumor mongers are shitting the whole family. At this moment, the head teacher Weibo was still holding a class meeting with the freshmen in Class A. Just now, Weibo has finished selecting class cadres. Due to his previous positive performance, Sheng Renxin was successfully elected as monitor. By the way, classmates, since you have chosen the Gods Cultivation Academy, you should know what our Gods Cultivation Academy pays most attention to, right? Weibo felt that it was almost done, and began to talk to the freshmen in Class A about the philosophy of the Gods Cultivation Academy, as well as the plans and arrangements for the 4 years after enrolling in the Gods Cultivation Academy. First of all, the main focus of the Gods Training Academy is natural selection and survival of the fittest. As a top university, it must have sufficient training resources. There are also many public training resources, such as martial arts techniques, weapons, equipment, etc., which can be rented from the school. The condition for renting is to have enough dedication points. The way to obtain dedication points is to work as a logistician for the Awakened Association and the Hunter Alliance, as an intern for the Hunter team, and to complete mission commissions. Before the student's strength reaches the first level intermediate level, he can work as part-time logistics for the Awakened Association and Hunter Alliance, helping to transport materials and supplies, or recover the corpses of ferocious beasts. There is indeed no need to fight ferocious beasts at this stage, but they will also frequently go to occupied areas. More or less teams will encounter ferocious beasts, and can feel the ferocity and terror of ferocious beasts at close range, thus exercising their psychology. When your strength reaches the first level intermediate level, you will serve as an intern for the Hunter team, and follow the Hunter team to kill ferocious beasts in occupied areas. At that time, you need to face fierce beasts, or even fight against them, which will not only exercise your psychology but also improve your actual combat ability. No matter which stage you are at, you need to complete enough logistical tasks and internship tasks to gain enough dedication points. The performance of students in logistical tasks and internship tasks will directly affect the level of credits. Therefore, those who are timid and poor not only fail to become strong, they even fail to graduate from school. What's interesting is that no matter whether your strength is above the first level intermediate level or below the first level intermediate level, you will start training in the occupied area tomorrow. Ah, Teacher Wei, are you going to the occupied area starting tomorrow? Isn't it a little too fast? Yes, Teacher Wei, I'm not even ready yet. Many students were a little nervous. Although they may all be admitted to the God's Cultivation Academy, they are all students with outstanding qualifications and talents, but in fact, most of them are just flowers in the greenhouse. How could they not panic when they were sent to occupied areas without any preparation? Lin Yong was much calmer. It is indeed a bit scary for a novice to go to an occupied area to experience it. But in the past 6 days, he and Luo Saidong had done it countless times. Afraid? Is it okay if it doesn't exist? On the contrary, he was a little excited because he could go to the occupied area and make a lot of money again. After the class meeting ended, it was time for regular classes. Since the students in the class are all novices who have just entered martial arts practice, the content of the regular courses is mainly theoretical knowledge, teaching students how to practice more efficiently and how to learn natural martial arts skills later. It has to be said that the God's Training Academy is indeed a top-notch institution. Not only are the training methods provided by the school outstanding, but they are also very professional and effective in guiding students to practice and learn innate martial arts. Lin Yong has a strong understanding. He has a hunch that after absorbing this theoretical knowledge, his cultivation speed can be increased by another 1.25 times. After school at noon, Lin Yong and Luo Saidong had dinner in the school canteen. The two of them were chatting and laughing, and at this moment, 2 figures walked in at the door of the dining hall. They were obviously coming with bad intentions. "Brother, that brat is inside, you must take it out on me." Luo Meng walked into the dining hall with his brother Luo Yang. Soon, Luo Meng had seen Lin Yong not far away. A trace of resentment flashed in his eyes, and he pointed at his brother Luo Yang with his finger and said, "Brother, that's the kid who hurt me." Luo Yang is a senior student. As Luo Meng's brother, there is no doubt that he is also a member of the Luo's tribe, but the temperaments of the two brothers are a bit different. First of all, in terms of hairstyle, Luo Meng has a silver middle-parted hairstyle, which is very popular for criticism. As for Luo Yang, he has a more capable image, so he has a silver haircut. Then in terms of appearance, although Luo Meng has an ordinary appearance, he tries his best to get close to the young boy. His brother Luo Yang's style has changed a bit, and he has a tough look. That face barely had the words, "What are you looking at?" written on it. It looked so fierce that people didn't dare to take another look at it. In addition, Luo Yang's body shape is very strong, and his upper body even looks like an inverted triangle, which makes him very powerful. Luo Yang looked in the direction pointed by Luo Meng, and his eyes fell on Lin Yang opposite Luo Saidong. He frowned slightly. "You are already a junior, and you were defeated by a freshman. Isn't it embarrassing?" Luo Meng was a little embarrassed, but also a little angry. "Brother, don't look at that kid as just a new student. He is very weird. Not only is he extremely fast, but he is also proficient in the thunder and fire elements. If you lose, you lose. Why are you making so many excuses?" Luo Yang interrupted angrily. "Anyway, I will help you get your place back this time, but remember to practice more diligently in the future and don't embarrass me again." After saying that, Luo Yang walked towards Lin Yang. Luo Meng followed behind. He looked at Lin Yang, who was getting closer and closer, with a vicious smile on his lips. He has decided that he will repay double the humiliation he suffered from Lin Yang later. "Huh, isn't he the top 50 strong man in the school's strong list, Dragon Man Luo Yang? It's really Luo Yang. Didn't he go to practice and come back in a few days? I don't know either, but I see that he is murderous, as if something is going on." In the dining hall, many juniors and seniors who were dining recognized Luo Yang, and they were all discussing in low voices. "Lin Yang, where did you learn that joke? It's too funny." Luo Saidong was talking to Lin Yang. Her perception was very sharp and she immediately sensed murderous intent. Luo Sidong turned around and saw Luo Yang and Luo Meng. Is this Luo Meng still finished? Luo Sidong is not stupid either. Looking at the postures of Luo Yang and Luo Meng, one can tell that they are not doing well. Lin Yang naturally saw it too, and he showed a sneer. You were tortured by him so much before, and yet you still continue to seek death. Is there water in your head? At this time, Luo Yang had already walked in front of Lin Yang. Boy, you were the one who injured my brother, right? Luo Yang looked at Lin Yang with cold eyes. Hiss. Many people around also noticed it, and they all took a breath. What is going on? Is Luo Yang looking for trouble with that classmate? Looking at Luo Yang's appearance, it seems. I was approached by Luo Yang, who is in the top 50 on the list of strong men. I'm afraid that guy is in trouble. Lin Yang didn't pay attention to the looks of those around him. He didn't pay attention to Luo Yang, but looked at Luo Meng. So, you came here to find trouble again, right? Lin Yang was not a person without eyesight. Although there was a big difference in the painting styles between Luo Yang and Luo Meng, just by looking at Luo Yang's silver hair, he knew that Luo Yang was most likely Luo Meng's brother or cousin. It's obvious that he's trying to sway someone, so bring someone more powerful to trouble him. Luo Yang frowned. He didn't expect Lin Yang to dare to ignore him. Is that classmate crazy? He actually dared to ignore Luo Yang. Some people around him also noticed it, and they all took a breath. Lin Yang is a new student, how do they know each other? But Luo Yang, they know his background. That is the 49th ranked strongman in the Gods Training Academy, and his strength has reached the 4th level of the intermediate level. Moreover, Luo Yang has a very explosive temper. If you dare to ignore him, the consequences will be very serious. Aren't you talking nonsense? Luo Meng sneered. How much shame did you make me lose earlier? You didn't think I would just let it go, right? In fact, his idea was relatively naive, which was to let his brother Luo Yang destroy Lin Yang. In that case, Lin Yang will leave Luo Sidong completely. Luo Meng, are you almost ready? Luo Sidong couldn't stand it any longer. She stood up and said, I know what you are thinking, but being so aggressive will only make me hate you even more. Also, if you bring your brother in like this, it will only make him unlucky. Unlucky. Luo Yang narrowed his eyes. Sidong, what do you mean? Literal meaning. Luo Sidong turned his face and looked at Luo Yang. Brother Luo Yang, we are both members of the Luoluo's tribe, and we were neighbors when we were children. I sincerely advise you not to fall in love with Luo Meng. Otherwise, you will be unlucky. Quote. It can be said that Luo Sidong used these 5 words, you will be unlucky, very beautifully. If Luo Yang had to fight Lin Yang, the first thing that was certain was that he would be defeated in front of so many people at the scene. One of the top 50 strong men on the list of strong men was defeated by a new student. How much impact would this have on Luo Yang's reputation? One can imagine. In addition, the school also has school rules. If Luo Yang had to pick a fight with Lin Yang, not only would he be punished by the school, but he would also anger her father, the Dean Luo PC, because of Lin Yang's importance to her and to the Gods Cultivation Academy. When the time comes, Luo Yang will definitely be severely punished by Lopez. After this series, it is not as simple as Luo Meng's embarrassment before, but it will be difficult to end. What kind of bad luck? Are you trying to say that I can't this guy? Luo Yang frowned. Yes, brother Luo Yang, you are no match for Lin Yang, so don't be confused. I'm no match for this guy. Hey, Sidong, are you sure? Luo Yang couldn't help but laugh. How could he, a powerful 4th level man, not be able to defeat a new student? Sure, Luo Sidong looked certain. No one knows better than her how strong Lin Yang is. Mu Tai, the former team leader of the Heavenly Punishment Organization, was at the 4th level intermediate level, and his combat power was just as strong as Luo Yang's. Wasn't he easily killed by Lin Yang? So Luo Yang is definitely not Lin Yang's opponent. How can it be? Luo Yang became a little angry. As one of the geniuses of the Lolo's tribe and one of the top 50 strongest men in the Gods Training Academy, how could he tolerate others saying that he was not as good as a freshman? Sidong, I know you have a good relationship with this guy, but is it a little too much for you to lift him up and belittle me like this? Luo Yang was obviously a little angry. He didn't want to talk to Luo Sidong anymore and glared at Lin Yang fiercely, Boy, I will give you such a chance now. As long as you kneel down and apologize to my brother, and leave the gods for the sake of Saidong Sake, I can't move you at the Cultivation Academy. Give me a chance. Are you mentally ill? Lin Yong laughed a little. How about I give you a chance? Get out of here within 3 seconds, otherwise, I will slap you away. Did I hear that right? He was scolding Luo Yang for being mentally ill. Holy crap, this kid actually dares to talk to Luo Yang like this. Is he crazy? Many people around were shocked. Mad, I have seen arrogant people, but never such arrogant people. Who do you think you are, dare to talk to me like this? Luo Yangyang's face turned dark, and his body surged with momentum. Slap me away, right? Why are you here? I want to see who it is. It's not that Luo Yang underestimates Lin Yang. He is a 4th level strongman, ranked 49th on the Academy's strong list, and his speed is not at the same level as the 2nd level and 3rd level awakened ones. He felt that even if he stood still, Lin Yang would not be able to hit him. Snapped. However, before Luo Yang finished speaking, Lin Yang came to him in an instant and slapped him in the face. At that moment, Luo Yang's face was distorted. Wow! This scene shocked many people around. Did you see that? That man actually slapped Luo Yang. Let me choke you, is that kid crazy? How dare he slap Luo Yang in front of so many people? Doesn't he know that Luo Yang pays great attention to face? Oh my god, am I dazzled? How did that kid get in front of Luo Yang in an instant and take action? Luo Saidong covered her eyes. She originally wanted to persuade Luo Yang not to be stupid, but Luo Yang didn't listen at all. Now, this time, a dignified 4th level expert was slapped in the face by a new student in public, and his face was completely humiliated. Hiss. Luo took a deep breath and subconsciously covered his face. The sound of the slap just now was very clear, and he couldn't imagine how painful it was. Lin Yang rubbed his palms. He couldn't help but shook his head and sighed. I have never seen anyone make such a request in all my life. He actually let others slap him. Tisk, tisk, it's really weird. Boom. Luo Yangyang felt the veins on his forehead bulging, and a surging momentum burst out from him, shaking the ground into a pit 1 meter wide. You fool, I asked you to beat me, but you really did it. Luo Yang glared at Lin Yang fiercely with a murderous look in his eyes. Lin Yang looked innocent. You were the one who asked me to hit you. You were the one who got angry when I hit you. Why are you so difficult to take care of? Phew, Luo Saidong was amused. Puff. There were also some students nearby who couldn't hold it any longer, but when they noticed that Luo Yang was giving him a murderous look, they suddenly trembled with fright and didn't dare to laugh anymore. That was one of the geniuses of the Rolos tribe, the 49th strongman on the school's strong list. They didn't dare to mess with him casually. Good boy, I underestimated you. Luo Yang rubbed his sore face with a fierce look in his eyes, but I tell you, if you hit me, you are finished. I will destroy you, and this is the price for slapping me. The moment the words fell, Luo Yang rushed to Lin Yang like an afterimage and punched Lin Yang. As a well-known figure in the school, how could Luo Yang tolerate being slapped in the face by a new student in public? He must make Lin Yang pay a heavy price, otherwise he would still be hanging around here. Bang! Luo Yang's power was very tyrannical. The moment his punch hit, the floor within 2 meters of it was blasted away from the center of the impact point. The terrifying impact of the airflow also shook all the surrounding tables and chairs away. Even Luo Saidong had to cross her arms in front of her body to protect her, but she was still shocked by the turbulent airflow and her legs scraped the ground and she retreated 3 or 4 meters. But it was obvious that Luo Yang's punch was empty. Lin Yang had already dodged away, and at some point he had arrived behind Luo Yang. If you want to destroy me, it's almost impossible with your speed, right? Lin Yang smiled lightly. When Luo Yang rushed over just now, he had already used 3,000 thunderbolts to dodge. I have to say that Luo Yang's 4th level intermediate attack power surprised him a little, but there was no point in missing a hit. Maid, you're still mocking me, right? You're looking for death. Luo Yangyang's face turned red. He quickly turned around and punched Lin Yang. Whoosh. However, Lin Yang used 3,000 thunderbolts again and easily dodged it. That classmate is too fast, isn't he? He can actually use his speed to make Luo Yang spin around. Who is that classmate? Is he a top player on the school's strongest list? Why haven't I seen him before? Many students around him were shocked by Lin Yang's speed, and they were also a little strange. It stands to reason that the person who can tease Luo Yang with such speed should be a strong person on the school's list. It is impossible for them not to recognize him. Luo Xidong had already expected the current situation, and she was not surprised at all. Instead, she frowned when she looked at the floor blasted by Luo Yang and the tables and chairs around her that were blown away. Her father is the dean of the Gods Cultivation Academy. In other words, this school belongs to her family. Now that Luo Yang is wreaking havoc here, isn't this causing trouble for her father? Must be severely punished. And make money. Luo Xidong took out his small notebook and saw that a big hole was made in the floor. He would definitely have to pay for it. As for the maintenance fee, 500,000 is enough. Luo Yang continued to attack, but still missed. Instead, Lin Yang suddenly appeared behind him. At the same time, Lin Yang's palm had been stretched out. Bake. Lin Yang blasted out a huge fireball, directly knocking Luo Yang away. However, what surprised Lin Yang was that the Hao fireball only forced Luo Yang back 3 or 4 meters, and then was unexpectedly caught by Luo Yang. And after the flames dissipated, Luo Yang showed almost no signs of injury. But at this time, Luo Yang was different from before. He obviously showed his trump card, used his supernatural talent, and turned into a dragon. To be precise, it's a dragon. His whole body was wrapped in a snow-white exoskeleton. From a distance, it looked like he was wearing a layer of bone armor, which protected his body tightly. In addition, a round keel shield actually grew out of his arms that resisted the fireball. Apparently, it was the keel shield that caught the fireball. Wow, this scene seemed to shock many people around. They all knew that it was Luo Yang's dragon form, using his fantasy beast talent. What does it mean for Luo Yang to use dragon form now? It means that Luo Yang has been forced into panic, and this may not end well. Oh, Lin Yang also showed a slightly surprised expression. It is not that his powerful fireballs have never failed. Luo Meng's silver lion beast form and Mu Tai's steel form have all withstood the damage of powerful fireballs with their bodies. But those were all passive defenses and had to be carried with the physical body. And it seems to be the first time that Luo Yang is directly defending like this. Lin Yang nodded secretly. Luo Yang was indeed one of the top 50 strongest men in the school, and was even more difficult to deal with than Mu Tai. Luo Yang seemed to notice Lin Yang's unexpected expression, and he sneered, "Boy, you didn't expect it, right? I can actually defend against your counterattack. Your attack has no effect. You are indeed very powerful. You are faster than me and can cast fire-based ultimate moves instantly. But let me tell you, it's useless. Because you can't break through my defense. No matter how fast you are or how many moves you have, you can't beat me." Quote. As Luo Yang spoke, the smile on his lips turned vicious. "When I've worn you down to the point where you can no longer run or use your ultimate move, that's when you're finished." Luo Yang has already thought up a strategy, just one word, consumption. Anyway, he felt that no matter how fast Lin Yang was and no matter how many attack methods he had, it would be useless if he could not break through the defense. When Lin Yang's physical strength reaches the bottom, that's when he can turn the situation around. He also decided that he would repay the humiliation Lin Yang brought him 100 times. "Lin, you're finished." Luo Meng also saw the dawn of victory and was a little excited. "I can't break through your defense. Can I?" Lin Yang smiled. He was too lazy to talk nonsense with Luo Yang, and used 3,000 thunderbolts again, and rushed towards Luo Yang. Luo Yang felt that Lin Yang's efforts were completely in vain. He sneered and raised the dragon bone shield for defense. However, what Luo Yang didn't know was that the move Lin Yang used this time was the super penetrating Thunder Cut. He overestimated the defensive power of his keel shield. "Thunder type, Reikiri," Lin Yang shouted coldly, and stabbed away with his right hand that had gathered the power of thunder and lightning. Puff, blood overflowed, and the smell of blood filled the air. How is this possible? Luo Yang's eyes were a little straightened, and his face was filled with an expression of disbelief. He never expected that Lin Yang's attack actually penetrated his dragon bone shield. In addition, Lin Yang's lightning thrust attack also scratched his face and made his cheeks bleed. Luo Meng was also a little dumbfounded. This guy actually broke my brother's dragon bone shield. How could this happen? He shouldn't be that strong. It's not that Luo Meng is arrogant. He knows very well how powerful his brother Luo Yong's dragon bone shield is. Even a 6th level powerhouse like his father couldn't easily defeat him with just fists and kicks. Even if it is an S-level talent attack, it must be 1 level stronger than Luo Yong's, that is, it must reach the 5th level intermediate level in order to have any hope of breaking through. But Lin Yong is just a new student. He can pierce his brother's dragon bone shield. Isn't it a bit outrageous? Many people around were also shocked, and everyone was a little dumbfounded. Holy shit, is this fake? Luo Yong's dragon bone shield was broken so easily. It seems that even the top 10 on the strong list will take some time to break it, right? One move broke Luo Yong's strongest defense. That classmate is awesome. But who is he? He doesn't seem to be on the strong list, right? Luo Sidong smiled slightly. She was not surprised at all. Maybe Luo Yong's fantasy beast talent was stronger than the previous Mutai, but in terms of absolute defense, she felt that Mutai's steel hardening was stronger. So, if Lin Yong can stab Mutai to death with one move, he can naturally break Luo Yong's strongest defense. Lin Yong showed a joking smile. Is this your strongest defense? Kara Kara. As Lin Yong said these words, cracks began to appear in Luo Yong's dragon bone shield. After the cracks spread to the edges, pieces broke and fell. In the end, Luo Yong's dragon bone shield turned into fragments all over the ground. This is impossible. How could my dragon bone shield be broken by a new student? Luo Yong's eyes were straight, and he was already doubting life. It's not that his dragon bone shield has never been breached. Like his father, the top 20 strongest men in the list have all breached his strongest defense. But the problem is that Lin Yong is just a freshman in college. He was a man of the hour on the strong list, but his defense was broken by a new student. How could he accept this? What? New freshman? The classmate who broke through Lu Yong's strongest defense with one move, is he a freshman? Next to me, some classmates heard it. Wow. As soon as these words came out, it immediately caused a commotion. Holy shit, is this so fake? That classmate is actually a freshman. In other words, Luo Yong, a senior and one of the top 50 strong men, was defeated by a freshman. I have seen something outrageous, but I have never seen something so outrageous. Luo Yong actually suffered a loss at the hands of a new student. No, didn't you see that classmate was with the dean's daughter just now? That must be a new student. Ah, that junior brother, he is so handsome. Boom. Lin Yong ignored the discussions of the people around him. At this time, he punched Luo Yong on the cheek. Luo Yong took 2 steps back, staggered, and collapsed on the ground. In fact, Luo Yong was not that weak. It was just that he was a little shocked and distracted, so he was beaten by Lin Yong. That freshman Luo Yong. Hey, it's so miserable. Luo Yong, the 49 strong man on the list, by a new student on the first day of school. Ah, junior brother is so handsome. There was a commotion in the dining hall again. Some were shocked, some were sighing, and some were crazy. In short, this cannot change the fact that Luo Yong has been greatly embarrassed this time. Luo Sidong shook her head repeatedly. She just told Luo Yong not to fight with Lin Yong, but she didn't listen. Okay, now, the influential senior man was by a new student Lin Yong in front of everyone. How can he still hang out in school in the future? Brother, cheer up, everyone says you were defeated by this guy named Lin. Luo Meng also felt a little embarrassed, and he said quickly. Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. Luo Yong's face shook and he stood up quickly. Why was I defeated by the new student? I didn't, I just accidentally slipped and fell. Luo Yong also realized the seriousness of the situation, and he did not dare to be distracted or have reservations anymore. Boy, you can do it. But let me tell you, you really pissed me off now. Luo Yong gritted his teeth and decided to go all in. Because the situation has developed in a direction beyond his control, once he loses to Lin Yong in this duel, it will be difficult for him to continue to gain a foothold in the school, and people will laugh until his face turns yellow. The power of dragon eyes. Luo Yong shouted coldly. His pupils actually glowed, and he glared fiercely at Lin Yong. Isn't Luo Yang a little embarrassed? He actually used illusions on a new student. Someone around noticed it and immediately exclaimed, "Illusion." Lin Yang's face was startled and he quickly took measures. Finally, the cyan light from Luo Yang's eyes weakened. At this time, Lin Yang suddenly stopped moving and stood there quietly. It's over. The freshman seems to have been under Luo Yang's illusion and can't move. Many people noticed it, and their faces became a little worse. Luo Sidong also noticed it. She quickly called Lin Yang, but Lin Yang didn't respond at all. Luo Sidong bit his teeth lightly, realizing something was wrong. She knew that Luo Yang's phantom beast talent could not only increase his strength, speed and defense in the form of transformation, but his eyes also had the ability to release illusions. Once caught in Luo Yang's illusion, he would be unable to move within a minute. Only those who are far stronger than Luo Yang, or those who are awakened by telekinesis and have strong enough mental power, can resist Luo Yang's illusion. Success. Brother, you succeeded. Luo Meng next to him couldn't believe it at first, but when he found that Lin Yang really didn't move anymore, he suddenly became a little excited. Maid, you can finally handle this kid. Luo Yang breathed a sigh of relief and showed a winner's smile. If I didn't have the trump card of illusion, I really wouldn't be able to defeat him. The fact that he can be trapped by illusion means that his strength is not as strong as yours. Sure enough, this kid is just faster and more talented and has a changeable attitude. Putting aside these, he is not actually strong in terms of physical strength. Luo Meng nodded thoughtfully. Before, he thought that Lin Yang's physical strength was stronger than that of his junior. If his physical strength is not strong, he could still abuse me like that just now. This is the most terrifying thing. Luo Yang narrowed his eyes, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, now he is under my illusion and can't move. I will kill him now. After speaking, Luo Yang clenched his fists and walked towards Lin Yang step by step. Luo Sidong frowned slightly. She would not let Luo Yang hurt Lin Yang and was about to rush over. Luo Yang turned around, with a sinister smile on his face, and wanted to ask Luo Meng if he wanted to beat Lin Yang first to vent some anger. However, at this moment, Lin Yang, who everyone thought would not move, moved. Snapped. Lin Yang took advantage of Luo Yang's distraction and slapped him in the face, knocking him to the ground. Luo Yang covered his face. He raised his head and looked at the smiling Lin Yang in front of him. He was dumbfounded on the spot. What's going on? Aren't you under my illusion? Why can you still move? The students who were watching were all stunned when they saw Lin Yang slap Luo Yang. Didn't that freshman fall under Luo Yang's illusion? How come he can move again? Yeah, it's very strange. Luo Yang clearly cast an illusion on him just now. I heard that there are two conditions for being able to resist Luo Yang's illusion. One is that his strength is far superior to that of Luo Yang, and the other is that he is an awakened telepathic person with extremely strong mental power. Do you think there is such a possibility? The strength of that classmate far more than Luo Yang. His strength is far greater than that of Luo Yang. This is impossible, right? That classmate is just a freshman, there is no way he can be so strong. Luo Sidong walked up, her face full of confusion. Lin Yang, what's going on? Aren't you under an illusion? Why do you seem to be fine? Be confident and remove the word, as if. Lin Yang chuckled. That is to say, are you really okay? Luo Sidong was a little unbelievable, but, why? Because his illusions don't work on me. Lin Yang spread his hands. My illusion doesn't work on you. How could this be? Luo Yang was a little dumbfounded. His speed can't be matched, his defense has been broken, and now even his most powerful trump card illusion can't work. Isn't this a bit outrageous? Your illusion may work well for other people, but it has no effect on me. Lin Yang sneered, but in fact, he felt a little guilty. Grandma, luckily someone reminded me just now, otherwise I would have been tricked. In fact, when Luo Yang performed the illusion just now, Lin Yang was in a very dangerous situation, and he almost fell into Luo Yang's way. As for why he was able to resist Luo Yang's illusion, needless to say, it was naturally because he opened the Sharingan. Whose Sharingan does he have? That is the Sharingan possessed by Shisui, who is known as the most powerful illusion genius, and can later evolve into the strongest illusion genius. In terms of illusion, he is almost invincible, right? Even if his current Sharingan is only the second Magatama Sharingan, he is already immune to illusions and rebound mental attacks. How could Luo Yang's low-level illusions work on him? Besides, I have something special I want to show you. Lin Yang said, the corners of his mouth raised slightly. Sharingan, open again. Move copy. Following Lin Yang's heartfelt cry, his body began to be covered in white bones, as if he was wearing a set of bone armor. How is this possible? Luo Yang looked at Lin Yang's changes. He was so shocked that his eyes almost popped out, as if he had seen a ghost. Others might not know what happened to Lin Yang's changes now, but he recognized it at a glance. Isn't that one of his innate abilities in the fantasy beast system? This dragon bone armor is exactly the same as the one he wears. Finally, Lin Yang's white bones no longer changed and were completely finalized. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. But at that moment, including Luo Saitong, Luo Meng, and the surrounding students, they all recognized it and were all shocked. Oh my god, isn't this Luo Yang's fantasy beast talent? Why can that classmate also use it? Yes, why is it so strange? Even Luo Saitong, who knew Lin Yang had many trump cards, was shocked by Lin Yang. Her big beautiful eyes widened. What the hell is going on? Why did he not even know Luo Yang's talent? All. Lin Yang looked at Luo Yang on the ground with a smile on his face. How is it? Are you surprised? To be honest, not to mention Luo Saitong and others, even Lin Yang himself was a little surprised at this moment. Sharingan's move copying, in anime, mostly copies taijutsu and regular ninjutsu. The Sharingan cannot copy the boundaries of blood inheritance. Therefore, in that worldview, the Sharingan cannot replicate the transformation like Luo Yang just now. But what's interesting is that in the world he traveled to, any form of power is regarded as natural power, and the pair of Sharingan eyes given to him by the Sun God Altar system can copy any talent. Therefore, even though Luo Yang's talent seems quite complicated, he still copied it. Since the copied talent can only be saved for one day at most and cannot be used after it expires, it must be useless now. The worldview of the two Luo Yang brothers was completely shocked to the point of collapse. Presumably, the two of them would not dare to trouble him again in the future. How on earth did you do that? Luo Yang's eyes were straightened. He was indeed shocked by Lin Yang and began to doubt the world. Lin Yang sneered. Just as he was about to say something, Luo Meng spoke first. Brother, don't be fooled by this guy. He's just a poor imitation of you. He can't use your innate power. Although he was confused in his heart and was shocked by Lin Yang to the point of questioning his life, Luo Meng firmly believed that what Lin Yang said was definitely not true and was just an illusion. A parody, right? Then you can see clearly. Lin Yang smiled faintly, his eyes glowed with blue-red light, and he glared hard at Luo Yang, the power of dragon eyes. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Luo Yang's eyes trembled, and he couldn't move. Illusion, illusion. You can still use my brother's natural ability. How is this possible? Luo Meng was dumbfounded. He was so shocked that he doubted the world. Wow, likewise, this scene also shocked the onlookers around. Oh my god, he can actually use Luo Yang's illusion ability. Isn't this fake? I was shocked just now when I saw him using fire power and thunder power, and those S-level talents. I didn't expect that he actually has the same fantasy beast talent as Luo Yang. This is too outrageous. Last year I was admitted to the Gods Cultivation Academy, and I was already considered a genius. Unexpectedly, when I came here, I found that I was not even considered to be mud, woo-woo. I suddenly felt so good I want to go home. Lin Yang smiled coldly, and then looked at Luo Meng. Are you still saying that this is a parody? This is impossible, this is impossible. Luo Meng collapsed on the ground. He was so shocked by Lin Yang that his worldview collapsed. You came to trouble me again. You should know the consequences, right? Lin Yang stretched out his hand and formed a dragon bone shield. But he felt a little dissatisfied, so he changed the shape of the keel shield into a shape similar to a pan. What do you want to do? I'm warning you, my dad is. Luo Meng panicked. He naturally knew that he would be beaten, and he quickly wanted to move out of his 6th-level strong man. However, Lin Yang was too lazy to talk nonsense. He used illusion again, making Luo Meng unable to move. Immediately afterwards, Lin Yong picked up the keel shield, the keel pan, and slapped Luo Yang and the two of them. Ah, don't slap me in the face. Oh, how do you slap it there? Stop it. I am number 49 on the strong list, I can't be beaten like this. In fact, Lin Yong was quite helpless. This was a school, not an enemy-occupied area. Even if Luo and Yang were the first to cause trouble, he couldn't kill him. Fortunately, using Luo Yang's talent to draw two people is not very lethal, but extremely insulting. Not to mention, Lin Yang's smoking was quite enjoyable. No wonder there are people in film and television works who like to use pans as weapons. When the pot is thrown down, it makes a clanging sound, which is a great impact. At this time, a figure suddenly ran in from the dining hall door. What happened? When everyone saw it, their expressions became a little uneasy. Because the person who ran in was the deputy dean of the college, Zhou Lin. Luo Yang and Luo Meng have passed the illusion time and can move. The moment Luo Meng saw Zhou Lin, his already weak expression became even worse. Because Zhou Lin had warned him before that if he was caught making trouble for Lin Yang again, the consequences would be serious. Sure enough, Zhou Lin looked at the scene, then looked at Luo Meng, and understood immediately, and his face turned dark instantly. Luo Meng, how many times have I told you before? I told you not to cause trouble to classmate Lin Yang, but you were acting like a monster on the first day of school, right? Believe it or not, I will kick you out of school. However, the students in the dining hall were a little confused. It seems that the vice dean just arrived, right? He didn't even look at this, so he targeted the criminal. But it seems that it was indeed the two Luo Yang brothers who started the trouble. In fact, it is normal for everyone to be surprised. In the final analysis, for conflicts like this, the general process is to interview both parties and third-party bystanders to finally determine the truth, and only then can the culprit be held accountable. But now, Vice Dean Zhou Lin has launched an attack on the two Luo Meng brothers as soon as he arrived. This is indeed a bit abnormal. Of course, the main reason was that they didn't know that Luo Meng and Lin Yang had a conflict before. After Luo Meng was warned by Zhou Lin, he searched all the bystanders and warned them all, so the matter did not spread. Zhou Lin walked up to Luo Meng and Luo Yang and criticized them. Luo Meng, are you suffering from amnesia or something? You took my previous warning as fart, right? How many times have I told you how important Lin Yang is to Saidong and to our God's Cultivation Academy? Can you use your brain and think about it? You have to mess up things to be happy, right? Quote. And you, Luo Yang, even if your brother has a brain convulsion, as an elder brother, why are you going crazy with him? You have grown older and your muscles have grown, but your brain has not grown, right? Do you want me to tell you about this matter? Dean, tell him to come over and have a chat with your dad. Luo Yang and Luo Meng lowered their heads, not even daring to fart after being scolded. Wow, this scene shocked many people around. Of course, they were not surprised by Vice Dean Zhou Lin's ruthless attitude. After all, no matter how awesome Luo Yang is, he is just a senior student on the list of strong men, while Zhou Lin is the deputy dean of the college. In front of the vice dean, Luo Yang was nothing more than a quail in terms of strength and status. If you have done something wrong and contradict Zhou Lin, you may be severely punished or even kicked out of school. What surprised them was Zhou Lin's attitude towards Lin Yang. Did you hear what the vice dean said? He seemed to have said that classmate is very important to the dean's daughter and also to our college. What's going on? Don't look at me, how would I know? I think it's easy to understand. That classmate is very important to junior sister Saidong, which means that junior brother and junior sister Saidong are a pair. As for being important to the academy, hey, do you think there is such a possibility? Isn't it possible? Maybe he has a great background and a powerful background. Does it have a lot to do with the school? I think so. That junior fellow student is even better than Xiao Yuchen, the #1 high school student in Xia country. If he didn't have a great background, how could he have such abnormal qualifications and talents? The students around were discussing it happily, and each version was more exaggerated than the last. Luo Saidong's face turned red. Why are Lin Yang and I a couple? What the hell are these? At the same time, her expression was a bit resentful. The same goes for Uncle Joe. It's right to criticize Luo Yang and Luo Meng, but it's okay to put it another way. Even if Lin Yang is really important to me, don't say it so loudly. After all, I am also a girl. Lin Yang's face was calm. He had heard the more exaggerated versions before, such as that he was the illegitimate son of the vice dean, and he had already resisted. Moreover, Lin Yang thinks it is a good thing that everyone thinks he may have a great background and a powerful background. This can save him a lot of unnecessary trouble. At least within the scope of the school, how could unsuspecting classmates dare to provoke him if they knew he had a scary background? You two, come to the dean's office with me and see how the dean will punish you. Yes, Vice President. Luo Yang and Luo Meng lowered their heads, looking miserable. Zhou Lin turned his head and looked at the dragon bone armor on Lin Yang's body. His expression was even more incredible. He leaned over and whispered, I say, classmate Lin Yang, your talent is too buggy, isn't it? Even the unique talent of the Rolos tribe can all the phantom beast talents be awakened a second time. Vice Dean, do you understand the value of the God Department? Lin Yang smiled mysteriously. There were some things that he didn't bother to explain, so he just let Zhou Lin guess. Okay, I know you have great talent. Zhou Lin is not entangled. Who doesn't have some secrets? Anyway, Lin Yang is a student of his God's Cultivation Academy. Whether the academy can produce a top powerhouse who can rival or even surpass the 5 powerful ones in the future depends on Lin Yang. He naturally has to get used to it. Saitong, Lin Yang, you can leave as soon as you finish eating, otherwise the other students won't have to eat. Zhou Lin explained, and then left with the Luo Yang brothers. Lin Yang and Luo Saitong didn't intend to stay. They put their rice plates, chopsticks and spoons in the recycling area and left under the eyes of everyone present. The matter has come to an end, but the discussion in the dining hall is still very high. After all, they just witnessed a very shocking thing, that is, Luo Yang, who is ranked 49th on the strong list, was defeated by a new student. It's still the kind of complete abuse. If Lin Yang violently abused Gu Ziyu that morning, it was only a sensation among the first-year students. Now this incident is a sensation in the whole school. Since many classmates in the canteen took a video of Lin Yang violently beating Luo Yang and shared it on the school forum, the matter quickly spread within the school and instantly caused an unprecedented sensation. Holy shit, isn't it? You are the 49th on the strong list, and you lost to a new student on the first day of school. Is this video fake? Horror. It's not false. Many students in the third dining hall saw it today, and just now I saw Luo Yang being taken to the Academic Affairs building by the Vice President. He defeated Luo Yang, who was ranked 49th on the strong list just after entering school. That freshman is a bit scary. Does anyone know who that new student is? I want to compete with him. Silly laugh. You upstairs, give up. I heard that the new student is the boyfriend of the dean's daughter. Not only is his qualifications and talents very different, but he is also well connected. Even the vice dean respects him. How dare you touch him? The vice dean will be the first to take you to the dean's office, okay? Pick your nose. Lin Yang was unaware of the lively discussions on the school forum and chat group. At this time, he and Luo Saitong had just left the dining hall and were about to go back to the apartment to sleep with Luo Saitong. Lin Yang, please stop playing riddles and tell me why you can use Luo Yang's fantasy beast talent. Luo Saitong was so curious that she shook Lin Yang's arm vigorously, her tone almost coquettish. Lin Yang was delighted. He didn't expect Luo Saitong to be so curious. However, he just casually talked to the elemental god, and did not tell Luo Saitong about the Sharingan. Lin Yang felt that the Sun God Altar System, Sun God Talent, and Sharingan were all trump cards that he could not expose casually, so he should keep them secret for now. When the right time comes, he will see if he should tell Luo Saitong. Ah, you mean, your elemental god can awaken any talent for the second time. This is too bug. Your Dawn Goddess, a second-level intermediate level, can kill a third-level ferocious beast instantly, but she has the same bug. While chatting with Luo Saitong, Lin Yang suddenly saw a familiar figure not far in front of the two of them, walking towards them. Lin Yang seemed to recognize it, and his eyes suddenly lit up. That was the most reliable sophomore brother, Wang Zuan, who had always given him warmth before. Aren't those junior brother Lin Yang and junior sister Saidong? Not far away, Wang Zuan also saw Lin Yang and Luo Saidong. He was a little bored at first, but now that he saw the two of them, especially Lin Yang, he immediately became energetic. He waved his hands and ran towards the two of them. Hey! Junior brother Lin Yang, junior sister Saidong. The next second, Wang Zuan found Lin Yang running towards him waving his hand. He was stunned for a moment, and then his eyes filled with tears. Finally, I have someone who will take the initiative to say hello to me when he sees me. Woohoo, this feels so good. Soon, Wang Zuan ran to Lin Yang. Wang Zuan was a senior brother. He felt that he had to take the initiative and learn to take care of his junior brothers and sisters, so he wanted to ask Lin Yang if he and Luo Saidong had just finished lunch, but Lin Yang spoke first, and he was very excited. Senior brother Wang, you have allowed me to see you. Wang Zuan was a little surprised. He didn't expect Lin Yang to be so happy to see him. If it were other people, seeing him would be like seeing the god of plague, and they would have to take a detour on every other street. This time, Wang Zuan's eyes filled with tears even more. After completing the commissioned task and leaving the occupied area, Wang Zuan felt that based on previous experience, Lin Yang and Luo Saidong, the proud sons and daughters of heaven, should have forgotten about him. But now, not only has he not forgotten him, but he seems quite happy to see him, which makes him very encouraged. It turns out that becoming a senior brother is really different from before. I feel a little more popular. Wang Zuan looked intoxicated. Junior brother Lin Yang, junior sister Saidong, you just finished lunch, right? But he didn't know if it was his misunderstanding, but he always felt that Lin Yang's eyes that lit up when he saw him seemed to be seeing a rare treasure. Yes, we just came out from dinner. Lin Yang smiled and nodded. What does Wang Zuan mean to him? That's a big money bag with legs. So how could he not be excited to see Wang Zuan? He was even so excited that he almost cheered. Okay. Senior brother Wang. Luo Saidong also nodded politely to Wang Zuan. Wang Zuan nodded. Just as he was about to say something, he saw many classmates passing by looking at him. They seemed surprised and were discussing something in whispers. In fact, among those people were Wang Zuan's classmates, and there were 3 or 4 more of them. Let me go, am I not dazzled? That Wang Zuan, he is actually chatting with the talented freshman who beat Luo Meng, and the dean's daughter. Yes, they look familiar. But isn't this just the first day of school? How did Wang Zuan get to know the talented freshman? They were all a little strange, and at the same time, a little envious. As the saying goes, the strong are respected. One is a super genius who can easily beat down 49 Luo Meng, and the other is the dean's daughter. They both really want to know each other, right? Oh, are they discussing me? Wang Zuan also noticed it, and he actually shed tears of happiness. In fact, this can't be blamed on Wang Zuan. Due to his inherent cheating attributes, he had almost no friends during his freshman year. Even if he has teammates, they don't want to have much contact with him because of his cheating attributes. No, now he has junior brothers and sisters who can say hello to him. How rare and blessed it is. However, since Wang Zuan didn't know about Lin Yang's affair with Luo Meng, now he felt more that the students were discussing him because they were surprised to see that he had friends. So at this time, he feels a little proud. You said that I was a cheat and that I have no friends before, but now you are slapping him in the face, right? No, I'm a senior now, I have to be calm and mature. Yes, don't laugh, be cool. Senior brother Wang, can you add your contact information? At this time, Lin Yang took out his mobile phone. In the past 6 days, he didn't know how much he regretted not asking Wang Zuan for his contact information. I'm afraid he lost hundreds of millions in those 6 days. He finally met Wang Zuan, and he definitely couldn't miss it again. Hiss. Wang Zuan was a little surprised again. He actually asked me for my contact information. It seems that junior brother Lin Yang attaches great importance to me. Wang Zuan pretended to be calm. Junior brother Lin Yang, look at what you said, why don't you just add WeChat? It's definitely fine. Wang Zuan and Lin Yang added WeChat, and he felt so happy in his heart. If he remembered correctly, this was the first time someone took the initiative to add his contact information after he went to college. Other times, he wanted to join others, but others rejected him. Lin Yong was also very excited. He was already planning his plan to make a fortune. Starting tomorrow, freshmen will have to go to occupied areas to complete logistical tasks or internship tasks, so naturally he has to go too. No, you have to go anyway, and you must maximize your profits. In the future, before every time you go out for training, ask Wang Zuan first. Which district Wang Zuan goes to, he will go to that district. Wang Zuan seemed to be in a good mood. He thought for a while and invited, by the way, junior brother Lin Yong, you helped our team complete the commissioned task before. We still remember this favor, and we also want to find junior brother Lin Yong in person after school starts. Thank you. I wonder if you are free tonight. If so, could senior brother and sister treat you to a meal? In fact, no world can be separated from human kindness. Previously, Lin Yong helped Wang Zuan and others complete the commissioned task of collecting 1 kilogram of blue-eyed glazed snake scales, which helped each of them earn nearly 500,000 yuan. He had to personally thank Lin Yong. Positive. Lin Yong knew that it was the kindness of his senior brothers and sisters. He nodded and was about to say no problem. Task: reject Wang Zuan's invitation. Reward: advanced sacrifice, a cold and menacing man, unlock A-level domain ability, slaughterhouse. Ha! System, you are such a piss-poor person. Lin Yong couldn't help but roll his eyes at that time. You have to take care of this senior brother and sister's treat for me to have a meal. You're so idle, right? However, Lin Yong is also used to fighting against the system, and he knows how to solve it without even using his brain. Lin Yong looked regretful. I'm sorry, senior brother Wang, I won't go. Wang Zuan was stunned. He obviously didn't react. Junior brother Lin Yong actually rejected me. And he was so direct. Did I hear that right? Forehead. Luo Saidong was also a little suspicious. She turned her face and looked at Lin Yang's expression, which was a little confused. In her opinion, this doesn't seem to be Lin Yang's style. The mission is completed, and the advanced sacrifice, aloof, cold and menacing Seotela man, is obtained, unlocking A-level domain skills, slaughterhouse. The corner of Lin Yang's mouth suddenly raised, and he said with a smile, I'm kidding, senior brother Wang, I'm going. What time is it at night? Wang Zuan, Luo Saidong. System. On the altar of the sun god, the sacrificial ceremony began. The sacred fire was lit, and a rag doll wearing a cute hat and holding a long knife appeared on the altar. The rag doll was ignited by the sacred fire and burned out in a short time. I hate eating bread, I hate eating bread. A somewhat broken voice sounded. The golden egg in midair emitted a dazzling golden light and began to absorb the power of the rag doll. At that moment, a field power surged up, and Lin Yong smiled. A-level field skills are available. The system asked him to reject Wang Zuan, but it didn't say that he couldn't agree again after rejecting it. Anyway, just complete the task. This brain must be flexible. Lin Yong raised his palm, and with a thought, a sphere-like field appeared in the palm of his hand. As a senior comic fan, Lin Yong naturally knows what a slaughterhouse is. That was one of the skills of Luo, a certain thief king's popular character, the surgical fruit. As long as he uses this skill, he can release the domain space of a hemisphere or a global body. In this domain, he can cut any object. In fact, Lin Yong was a little regretful. In addition to the slaughterhouse, the surgery fruit also had other skills that were quite powerful. Like scalpel, transplant, gamma knife, that sort of thing. In such a comparison, room slaughterhouse is just a basic skill, not even a special skill. However, Lin Yong is not very greedy. The skill of slaughterhouse is a good supplement for him at present. Unlike skills with high attack speed, high damage or high penetration, the attacks he launches after using slaughterhouse are range-based, which greatly enhances his field control ability. High attack speed, high damage, high-speed movement, group attack, high penetration, illusion immunity, mental damage rebound, and now domain control. The system is shaping him like a hexagonal warrior. Lin Yong pinched his chin. The slaughterhouse needed to be equipped with weapons, such as knives and swords. He felt it was time to equip himself with weapons. When I went to the occupied area before, there were hunter teams like the kamikaze team. They all had weapons on their bodies, and they looked like thieves. Instead, he and Luo Saidong were empty-handed, and they were wearing everyday clothes. They looked like they were going to take photos and check in. It was so unprofessional. However, Lin Yong had browsed the high-end weapons sold on the official website of the Awakened Ones Association before, and they seemed to be quite expensive. Especially those high-end weapons endorsed by the 5 powerful men, all have a starting price of tens of millions. Tisk, I still can't live without money. Ah, junior brother Lin Yong, do you really want to go? Wang Zuan was mentally disturbed by Lin Yang's attack just now. He shrank his head and asked. Senior brother Wang, who went there, told me that I was just joking. Lin Yong smiled brightly. Okay, then at 7 o'clock in the evening, after we have found a place, I will contact you. As Wang Zuan said, he glanced at Luo Saidong, came up and asked in a low voice, junior brother Lin Yong, you and junior sister Saidong are together, right? How about junior sister Saidong come together tonight? Lin Yong looked at Luo Saidong. Do you want to go together tonight? Luo Saidong. If you ask me to go, I will go. Okay, you can go with me tonight. Lin Yong didn't worry too much about this matter. Luo Saidong nodded. She seemed a little sleepy and yawned. Lin Yong, I'm a little sleepy. Shall we go back to sleep? Okay, let's go. After Lin Yong finished speaking, he waved to Wang Zuan. Senior brother Wang, let's go first. See you in the evening. See you tonight. Wang Zuan waved his hand, but his open mouth could not be closed for a long time. Junior brother Lin Yong is too aggressive, isn't he? Just after the school term started, he took down the dean's precious daughter, junior sister Saidong. And now they all live together. Wang Zuan was stunned. He knew that Lin Yong was powerful, but he never thought that Lin Yong was so powerful. Wang Zuan suddenly felt envious. Many of his classmates are single, and those who are handsome and capable can make their girlfriends piss off their girlfriends every night. And he could only meet the goddess in the enemy-occupied area, scaring her to the point of peeing. Why is this person so different from other people? Heavenly Punishment Organization. When a senior cadre saw the members returning from the investigation, he shook the red wine glass in his hand and asked calmly, has the murderer who wiped out Mu Tai's team been found? Found it. The member nodded, his expression slightly aching. He is a high-level expert from which force, right? The senior cadre had a gloomy face. He raised his glass and took a sip of red wine. Well, no sir, the person who killed Mu Tai and the others seems to be a college student who just entered university. Puff. The senior cadre spit out a mouthful of red wine on the spot. What did you say? The murderer who wiped out Mu Tai's team was a college student who just entered college. The senior cadre was stunned and looked in disbelief. Yes, according to my investigation, he is a freshman named Lin Yong from the Gods Cultivation Academy. How can a freshman have such tyrannical strength? In order to completely wipe out Mu Tai's team, his strength must reach at least the 4th level, right? The senior cadre was still a little unconvinced. I don't know very well, but this is the result of the investigation. So, our elite team, ranked among the top 5 in the Tianpu organization, was wiped out by a young boy. The expression on that senior cadre's face was a little painful. He couldn't accept it. 7 p.m. Guzu hesitated for a long time, but in the end he couldn't take it anymore and decisively called his father. Even though his father had told him before that during an undercover mission, it was not appropriate to contact him too frequently. He should only contact him once a week at least. But because he was kicked by Lin Yong on the first day of school and was laughed at by the whole class, his career suffered a setback. He lost tens of thousands of fans online. He broke his guard and couldn't bear it anymore. Hello, Dad. This is the first day of school, what's going on with you? Yu Chengalin on the other side of the phone was a little confused at the time. He was wondering, could it be that his son was so capable that he had made a lot of progress in the undercover mission on the first day of school? Dad, I was beaten. Yu Chengalin was speechless for a moment. So you called me just for this? Dad, listen to me, I have a hunch that fool who beat me will cause great trouble for my subsequent tasks. So, can you send a master over to help me kill him? Guzu saw Lin Yong shine now, and his mentality was a little broken. Okay, then tell me, how strong is the opponent? I'll send a 3rd-level intermediate master there, is that okay? Yu Chengalin thought for a while and believed Guzu's words. The third level intermediate level can't do it. Guzu said quickly. That guy can even defeat a master who is ranked 49 on the school's strong list and has reached the 4th level intermediate level. Dad, please at least send a 5th level master over. Gu Chengalin couldn't stand it at that time, so you provoked a 5th level strongman on the first day of school. You still want me to wipe your ass? No Dad, I just. Big eater. Quote. Chapter 51. The next morning. Corridor of teaching building. Mad, you're going to be late, why didn't you call me earlier? Guzu glared at Wang Dao with some displeasure. He had died in class yesterday and became the laughingstock of many classmates. Now if he is late for class the next day because he slept late, he will probably be laughed at by everyone again. How can he, the second highest high school student in Sha Kingdom, accept it? Young Master Gu, actually I called you, but you were too asleep to hear me calling you. Wang Dao looked innocent. Guzu seemed to have remembered. His expression was a little embarrassed, so he immediately changed the topic. Ahem, by the way, yesterday I asked you to ask for leave for me, what reason did you give me for asking for leave? They won't laugh at me anymore, right? Don't worry, Mr. Gu, my reason for asking for leave is perfect. I can guarantee that they won't laugh at you when you return to class today. Wang Dao patted his chest in assurance. Guzu felt relieved now. Finally, the two came to the back door of the classroom. At this time, class was already in session, and the two of them walked in quietly. Wei Bo was talking inside. He was vaguely unhappy when he saw Guzu and Wang Dao being late, but he still asked, Classmate Guzu, are you okay with your health? Guzu was a little confused at the time. Well, teacher, I don't quite understand what you mean. Are you pretending to be stupid? Didn't you catch a cold yesterday because your clothes were wet and you caught a cold? Wei Bo shook his head. I thought you were just in bad health, but I didn't expect that you took a day off to rest, and your memory also got worse. Do you want to stop taking off and go to the brain department? Ha 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 ha. The classroom burst into laughter. Guzu's face turned red with embarrassment. He turned around and glared at Wang Dao fiercely. He was so angry that he almost punched someone. Maid, is this the reason why you asked for leave for me yesterday? Can you be more reliable? I am a dignified second-level awakened person. My clothes got wet and I caught a cold. Are you treating the teacher as an idiot or me as an idiot? I have been totally embarrassed by you. Young Master Gu, I just. Shut up, you loser. Guzu didn't want to talk to Wang Dao anymore. He turned around and found that everyone was looking at him and whispering. He was so embarrassed that he wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl in. However, when he saw Lin Yong chatting and laughing with Luo Saidong over there, with a relaxed and comfortable look on his face, he gritted his teeth. Lin Yong, it's all you who hurt me. Just wait for me. In a few days, I will make you pay the price. Lin Yong ignored Guzu, the clown. At this time, his attention was focused on what Wei Bo said. This class is undoubtedly also a class meeting. Since starting today, the freshmen will start going to occupied areas to experience, so there must be many things that need to be explained. For example, if their strength has not reached the first level intermediate level, these new students need to follow some logistics troops of the Awakened Association and Hunter Alliance to complete logistics tasks in occupied areas. But before that, the freshmen need to report to the corresponding formation and communicate about attendance matters. Of course, those who have reached the first level intermediate level and are practicing with the Hunter team also need to complete this process. In total, each student must attend no less than 10 times per month. In addition, Wei Bo also spent a lot of time explaining what should be paid attention to when attending work. Since most of these new students are hothouse flowers who have never been to occupied areas and have rarely interacted with people from the Awakened Association and Hunter Alliance, most of them are quite nervous and have taken out pens and paper to take notes for fear of missing some point. Wei Bo also talked about the situation of their Class A. Including Lin Yong, Luo Saidong, and Guzu, there are a total of 8 students who have reached the first level intermediate level. These 8 students are different from most of the other students. They followed the Hunter team to experience the occupied areas and hone their practical abilities. Lin Yong, are we going to the occupied area this afternoon? Luo Sidong blinked her beautiful big blue eyes and asked. She doesn't know why, but now she always likes to ask Lin Yang's opinion first when something happens. There are no classes in the afternoon, so I will definitely go. Lin Yang nodded. Then which occupied area are we going to this time? Is it the number 5 occupied area we went to a few days ago? Luo Sidong asked. Lin Yang was holding his cell phone. He seemed to be waiting for a reply. Suddenly, after receiving the message again, the corner of his mouth slightly raised. No, we will go to the occupied area number 9 in the next few days. Occupied area number 9. I heard that the ferocious beasts in that occupied area are much stronger than those in occupied area number 5. Basically, there are no first or second level ferocious beasts, they are all third level or above ferocious beasts. Luo Sidong was stunned for a moment, then she seemed to think of something, and smiled and said, the price of the ferocious beasts there is higher, right? She has known Lin Yang for a week, and she has gradually gotten to know Lin Yang, a sunny boy. Apart from the occasional incomprehensible underworld operations, I seem to have a deep obsession with making money. Ahem. Actually, I just want to experience how powerful the third and fourth level ferocious beasts are and fight against powerful enemies. Lin Yang pretended to be serious. In fact, the reason why he went to the more dangerous occupied area number 9 was not entirely because the beasts there were more expensive. When he was waiting for news just now, he was waiting for Wang Zuan's reply. This week, the hunter teams that Wang Zuan followed all went to the occupied area number 9. Yes, the main reason why Lin Yang chose occupied area number 9 was because of Wang Zuan. With Wang Zuan's black hole attribute, he will attract a large wave of monsters wherever he goes. When the time comes, they will be cleared, ranging from hundreds of W to thousands of W. Any fool knows how to choose, right? Lin Yang picked up his cell phone and replied to Luo Tianming, the leader of the kamikaze team, Brother Luo, let's go to occupied area number 9 this week. I don't know if he wants to build a good relationship so that he can be recruited after graduation. During this period, Luo Tianming was very enthusiastic towards him. Even if he wanted to go to an occupied area, he and Luo Sidong would be asked beforehand. 2:30 in the afternoon. Luo Tianming's kamikaze team came to the east gate to pick up Lin Yang and Luo Sidong again. But this time Lin Yang's dress was a little different from before. He had a Tang Dao-like weapon on his back. He spent 500,000 to buy this from the official mall of the Association of Awakeners. It is a relatively cost-effective mid-level weapon, Qianju, which is compatible with any elemental talent. In other words, whether it is a fire-based talent, a thunder-based talent, an ice-based talent, etc., this weapon has a natural damage bonus. Of course, Lin Yang did not choose this weapon because of its high-cost performance or the damage bonus of all elemental attributes, but simply because he felt that Qianju's appearance was better. After all, his current fighting style does not require the use of weapons. The reason why I got this weapon is simply to match the field-based skill of Slaughterhouse and make it more cool to use. Half an hour later, the car entered occupied area No. 9. The number 9 occupied area is indeed different from the novice area like the number 5 occupied area. Not only is the environment more dilapidated, but the atmosphere is more depressing. According to Luo Tianming, there are several 5th-level ferocious beasts living in the center of the number 9 occupied area, and even a team of experienced hunters like them would not dare to approach easily. As usual, Luo Tianming found a suitable location and let Lin Yang and Luo Sidong get off the car. But this time after they drove away, they were different from before. They didn't really leave. Instead, they parked the car and followed them secretly. Moreover, several people were obviously well prepared. Their teammates from the domain department opened the domain to hide them. In fact, Luo Tianming and others did not have any bad intentions. It was just that they had learned that Lin Yang had single-handedly killed nearly 1,000 blue-eyed glass snakes and set a new union record for the fastest promotion to gold level. They were very curious about Lin Yang. I just want to open my eyes to how powerful Yang is when he fights. At this time, Lin Yang and Luo Sidong finally encountered the first ferocious beast in the number 9 occupied area, which was a huge bear-like ferocious beast 6 to 7 meters high. That is the 3rd-level ferocious beast, the Tyrant bear. Captain, look, that's the Tyrant bear. The kamikaze team saw it here, and the member who used the field to hide everyone's aura exclaimed. As the Tyrant Bear, Luo Tianming narrowed his eyes. Captain, the Tyrant Bear is the king of the 3rd level ferocious beasts. Its power is even comparable to that of the 4th level ferocious beasts. Do you think Lin Yang and Saidong can deal with it? Do we want to go over and help? One team member asked. Don't worry, junior brother Lin Yang can easily kill nearly 1,000 blue-eyed glass snakes, and the Tyrant Bear cannot threaten him. Luo Tianming smiled relaxedly. The situation was indeed as he said. The front was not far away. Even though Tyrant Shang had already walked in front of them, the expressions of Lin Yang and Luo Saidong did not change. Lin Yang, are you coming or am I coming? Luo Saidong looked at Lin Yang. Luo Saidong's current strength is at the 2nd level of advanced level. Even in terms of physical strength, she is not as good as Tyrant Bear, but she can still kill Tyrant Bear with the super penetrating damage of God's light. As for Lin Yang, let alone that, he can even defeat the 4th level intermediate Mu Tai and Luo Yang. Tyrant Shang is simply worthless in front of him. Let me do it. While Lin Yang was speaking, he had already walked out. What does the 3rd level ferocious beast mean to him? That's a $100,000 money bag with legs. Yes, the reward for killing a level 3 ferocious beast is 100,000 Sha national coins, twice that of a level 2 ferocious beast. The Tyrant Bear looked at Lin Yang walking over and Luo Saidong behind him. He seemed a little surprised, and then his expression turned a little contemptuous. It seems to be saying, human boy, what are you doing? You dare to come in front of me, are you deliberately seeking death, right? Compared with the 2nd level ferocious beasts, the 3rd level ferocious beasts are not only stronger, but also possess higher intelligence, and already possess the emotions of contempt. In the eyes of this Tyrant Bear, Lin Yang and Luo Saidong seemed to be two fools. When other awakened people come to their occupied area number 9, which one is not fully equipped with weapons and equipment? But as for Lin Yang and Luo Saidong, Nima is dressed like a tourist. Isn't this pure retardation? But it doesn't mind either. It sees that Lin Yang and Luo Saidong are fair and clean, so the meat should taste delicious. Unlike the fat man who ran into its lair 2 days ago and accidentally trampled its son's leg, it was too fat and not delicious. Captain, Lin Yang has walked over. The teammate was a little excited and looking forward to it. How do you think Lin Yang will deal with that Tyrant Bear? Didn't you see that junior brother Lin Yang brought a weapon today? If I remember correctly, the sword seems to be the Qianju, which is the most cost-effective mid-level weapon for those who are awakened by the elemental system. Luo Tianming thought for a while, and analyzed with a very experienced look. Junior brother Lin Yang must have thought that the ferocious beasts in the occupied area number 9 are more difficult to deal with than those in the occupied area number 5, so he equipped them with weapons, so wait, there is a high probability that he will use Qianju to attack. The Tyrant Bear has rough skin and thick flesh, so even the weapon attacks of level 4 experts may not be able to cause damage to him. The thunder element combined with Qianju can increase the penetration damage, and should be able to break through the Tyrant Bear's defense within 5 moves. Quote, after breaking through the defense, the fire element combined with Qianju can increase the damage of slashing attacks. Whoosh. However, before Luo Tianming finished speaking, Lin Yang had already used 3,000 thunder to attack. Puff. Lin Yang turned into a bolt of lightning and instantly penetrated the Tyrant Bear's head. To be precise, it was Lin Yang who used Reikiri and used the maximum power. His whole body turned into a bolt of thunder and lightning, which penetrated the head of the Tyrant Bear. Quote. The Tyrant Bear didn't even react. It just felt that its brain was gone, and then it seemed that it was gone too. Boom. With a loud noise, the Tyrant Bear fell heavily to the ground, and dust suddenly flew up. The Tyrant Bear was completely dead, motionless, and turned into a lifeless corpse. Holy shit. Instant kill. All the members of the kamikaze team were shocked. Captain, did you see that? Lin Yang. No, brother Yang killed the Tyrant Bear with one move, and he didn't even use a weapon. The teammate in that field looked excited. Look, I saw. Luo Tianming was also quite shocked, and even his mouth turned into an O shape. Captain, this is different from what you just said. Brother Yang didn't even use a weapon, and he killed the Tyrant Bear instantly with just one move. This Luo Tianming was a little embarrassed. He knew that Lin Yang was powerful, but he didn't expect Lin Yang to be so powerful. But he couldn't help complaining in his heart. I said, junior brother Lin Yang, you don't need to use weapons, then why did you bring weapons in? Captain, aren't you going to recruit brother Yang as a team member? I think brother Yang's speed in killing the tyrant bear seems to be better than yours. Then after recruiting, who will be the captain, or brother Yang? This. Luo Tianming was even more embarrassed. Indeed, even if he could kill the tyrant bear, he would never be able to kill him in one move like Lin Yang. This indirectly illustrates a problem, that is, Lin Yang seems to be really better than him. To be honest, Luo Tianming is a little bit overwhelmed. Although he can't be said to be a genius of the Lolos tribe, he is still a veteran who has graduated 7 or 8 years ago. Now he is actually not as good as a junior who just entered college. This is a bit of a shock. Ahem, junior brother Lin Yang is indeed very strong, but in fact, we all have our own strengths and weaknesses. Ha 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 ha, junior brother Lin Yang's fighting method is really unique. We have seen it too, and it's time to do the commission task. Already. Fortunately, Luo Tianming was relatively thick-skinned, so he laughed and wanted to run away. Are you leaving now? But I didn't see clearly what brother Yang did just now. It's okay, I saw it clearly. I'll explain it to you later. After Luo Tianming finished speaking, he turned and left. Lin Yang is so strong that he can make people doubt his life, so he can't watch it anymore. Looking at him as a senior fellow student makes me feel inferior. Lin Yang didn't know what was going on with Luo Tianming and others. He turned around and looked at the already dead tyrant bear, a little unsatisfied. The defense is comparable to a fourth-order ferocious beast, is this it? Isn't it too ordinary? Quote. In fact, he was trying out a move just now. He discovered that by superimposing the power of lightning with the ultimate speed of 3000 thunders into the thunder cutter, the penetrating damage could be twice as high as the previous use of the thunder cutter alone. Therefore, he felt that he could kill the enemy with an instant kill method. No, the tyrant bear is famous for its terrifying strength and tough body. He tried a new trick with the tyrant bear. He didn't expect that the tyrant bear was so vulnerable. Luo Sidong also saw it, and she walked up to her. Lin Yang, was that move just now the latest one you developed? It feels very powerful. The power is not bad. Lin Yang nodded. With this, thunder and lightning instant kill move, he is confident that he can kill an awakened person below the 4th level with one move. Lin Yang took out the brave card, and the reward for killing the tyrant bear had arrived, 100,000 Sha national coins. Taking back the brave card, Lin Yang and Luo Sidong continued to move forward. Lin Yang also had a mission when he came to the occupied area number 9 today. He had dinner with Wang Zuan and others last night, and he had successfully joined Wang Zuan's team, which meant that he could accept the commission task. Now he has accepted a B-level commission worth 30 million and has to find the target. However, not far away, Luo Sidong, who was chatting and laughing with Lin Yang, suddenly changed his expression. Lin Yang, there is a very powerful awakener coming, a 5th-level warrior. A 5th-level powerhouse. Lin Yang was slightly startled. Luo Sidong nodded. She was about to speak, but her expression changed again. Here we come. Call out. At that moment, a figure fell from the sky like a meteorite and landed about 10 meters in front of Lin Yang and Luo Sidong. Bang! Due to the huge impact, the moment the man fell, the ground within 5 meters around him exploded. Sand and rocks flew suddenly, and dust filled the air. The scene was quite shocking. And before Lin Yang and Luo Sidong could react, the black shadow rushed out of the thick dust at a very fast speed, like a fired bullet, and arrived in front of Lin Yang in an instant. So fast. At that moment, not only Luo Sidong was frightened, but even Lin Yang's expression changed. Die! With a cold shout, the 5th-level powerhouse raised his fist and struck Lin Yang. Fortunately, Lin Yang used 3,000 thunderbolts in time and dodged the moment the fist hit him. The 5th-level strongman's punch missed, and his fist hit the ground. Bang! There was another loud noise, and the 5th-level powerhouse actually smashed a large hole into the ground that was 6 to 7 meters wide and half a meter deep. It's enough to show how terrifying the power of this punch is. Luo Sidong quickly retreated, and she retreated to Lin Yang. Lin Yang, are you okay? It's okay, he missed. Lin Yong looked calm on the surface, but there was some turmoil in his heart. The speed and strength of that 5th level strongman were stronger than those who had fought him before, and not even a little bit stronger. It's an opponent of a completely different level. If he hadn't used 3,000 thunderbolts just now and dodged it in time, he would have been smashed into a pulp by that punch. Oh, you can barely dodge my attack, that's not bad. No wonder you can kill Mutai and the others. The 5th level strongman retracted his fist and revealed a sneer on his lips. Lin Yong didn't hear what the 5th level strongman said. He took a step forward and without any courtesy, directly cursed. You suddenly rushed out to attack people, are you really sick? Luo Sidong couldn't help but laugh. Sure enough, Lin Yong was really fearless. In fact, she thought it was quite amazing. Generally speaking, among people of their age, who would have the courage to challenge a 5th level powerhouse? Even for a proud woman like her, facing a 5th level powerhouse is quite stressful. Lin Yong, on the other hand, not only showed no signs of cowardice but actually scolded him directly. She really admired his courage. The 5th level powerhouse frowned. He didn't seem to expect that he could still be so fierce. He didn't seem to be frightened by the blow he just made. Boy, you can do it. You are the first young man who dares to talk to me like this. The 5th level powerhouse smiled coldly, but your scolding makes no sense. You deserve it if I attack you. I deserve it. What do you mean? Lin Yong frowned. Mo Li, that is, the 5th level powerhouse, had a cold look in his eyes. Mutai and his team were killed by you, right? Mutai. Lin Yong didn't remember it for a while. But you can't blame him. How could he know Mutai's name? Mo Li said, bald guy, maybe he can still remember it. Forgot, right? Mo Li snorted coldly, took out a photo from his body and threw it to Lin Yong like a dart. Lin Yong took the photo and looked at it. Luo Sidong also came over to take a look. This time, both of them recognized him. Luo Sidong frowned slightly. This guy is from the Heavenly Punishment Organization, and he is here to kill us. Don't panic, he can't be killed. Lin Yong gave Luo Sidong a reassuring look, and then looked at Mo Li. I did kill the person, so your Heavenly Punishment Organization has put me on the death list, right? It's not like I have to kill you. Mo Li raised his lips slightly. In this way, if you are willing to join and work for our Heavenly Punishment Organization, we can forget about it and let you go. Mo Li was also quite shrewd. He thought Lin Yong was only 19 or 20. With 4th level or even 5th level strength at such a young age, there is no doubt that he is a genius among geniuses. If they can be included, it will not be a loss for them. Sorry, I have no interest in your organization, so I won't join you. Lin Yong didn't even need to think about it, he just refused. Isn't it good for him to be a talented student in a top university and gradually transform into a top powerhouse? Why should he become a rat in an evil organization that has done all kinds of bad things? Do you really think of him as a fool? Yes, you can reject me. But you should be clear about the consequences. Mo Li's face gradually grew colder, and murderous intent surged through his body. He still wanted to fight for it again. After all, Lin Yong, who is less than 20 years old, already has the strength of the 4th and 5th levels. This qualification is really incredible. This talent is rare. It's useless to threaten me, because not only can you not kill me, you can't even kill me. Lin Yong sneered. It's not that Lin Yong is arrogant. With the help of 3,000 thunderbolts, Reikiri, Sandstorm Burial, Sharingan and Slaughterhouse, he is capable of fighting even the 5th level peak powerhouse. As for Mo Li, he was only a 5th level low-level person. It was hard to say whether he could survive 20 rounds under him. Kill him, what a joke. You actually said that I can't. You mad, you are so arrogant. Mo Li felt underestimated and got angry. You brat, don't think that you are invincible just because you can kill Mutai and the others by chance. I'm not afraid to tell you that in the Tianpu organization, except for the leader and the 8 major cadres, besides, I am the strongest. In front of me, Mo Li, you are nothing. Since you are deliberately seeking death, then I will help you. After speaking, Mo Li kicked his feet hard. The moment the ground beneath his feet exploded, he rushed towards Lin Yong like a fired cannonball. Die. As soon as Mo Li raised his fist, Lin Yong had already used 3,000 thunderbolts to avoid it. Mata, you can only hide. Mo Li gritted his teeth. He was about to scold Lin Yong for being a coward, but he found a golden ray of light shooting towards him. It was Luo Sidong who launched the attack. She blasted a divine ray towards Mo Li. Luo Sidong also knew that Mo Li, a 5th-level powerhouse, was difficult to deal with, so she decisively stepped in to support Lin Yong. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Mo Li's face was shocked. He couldn't avoid it and was hit by Luo Sidong's divine ray. Although it didn't penetrate directly like before, it still left a 4 to 5 centimeter blood hole in Mo Li's chest. Ah! Mo Li frowned in pain. He was also shocked. He didn't expect that the moves of Luo Sidong, a 2nd-level awakener, could actually hurt him. You know, he is a 5th-level strongman, and his physical strength is no joke. Even a 4th-level expert with S-level elemental talent may not be able to easily break through his defense. Now Luo Sidong can easily hurt him with this move, which is enough to show how powerful Luo Sidong's light beam is. Maid, why are all of these people so changed? Mo Li gritted his teeth in anger. It's not bad to be able to injure a 5th-level strong man. Lin Yong was also a little surprised. At this time Luo Sidong ran over. She was full of fighting spirit. Lin Yong, I will help you deal with him. Lin Yong chuckled and said, don't bother me, I can get rid of him soon anyway. Can you get rid of me quickly? Hee, boy, you really lied and didn't make a draft. Mo Li sneered disdainfully. Apart from being faster than me and being good at being a turtle, you don't seem to have any other abilities. Do you have the ability to deal with me? Lin Yong was too lazy to talk nonsense to Mo Li. He used 3,000 thunderbolts and rushed in front of Mo Li in an instant. If you think I'm only better than you in terms of speed, you're totally wrong. Lin Yong sneered and raised his right hand as if to launch an attack. Mo Li almost laughed out loud. He felt that Lin Yong was so stupid that he actually rushed over to attack him. Wasn't this looking for death? You want to compete with me in terms of strength, right? Okay, I'll stick with you until the end. Mo Li assumed the same posture and punched Lin Yong. Go to hell. However, before he finished saying the last word, bah, Mo Li suddenly noticed that Lin Yang's attack method had changed, and the punch he punched turned into a thrust with his palm. Moreover, countless thunder and lightning powers are condensed around the palm. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Mo Li was confused at that time. By the way, isn't it a competition of strength? What the hell, are you kidding me? Mo Li was violently violent, but he couldn't take back the fist he punched. Lin Yong raised his eyes and revealed a joking smile. Who the hell told you that I want to compete with you in strength? I'm comparing my strength with you. Thunder element, Rikiri. Lin Yong shouted coldly, and the thunder attack blasted over. Puff, blood spattered and Mo Li's right arm was wasted. Ah, my hand. Mo Li took a sharp breath in pain, and his face turned black with anger. Maid brat, you cunt, I'll kill you. Mo Li shouted angrily and kicked Lin Yong in the chest. Whoosh. However, Lin Yong used 3,000 thunderbolts again and instantly retreated 7 or 8 meters away. Luo Sidong ran over, with an unbearable expression on her face. Lin Yong, what's going on with that guy? Why did he bump fists with you when he saw you using thunder moves? He doesn't know about thunder. Is the penetrating power the strongest? He is so stupid. Quote. I don't know about this, but he is indeed quite stupid. Lin Yong couldn't hold it in any longer. It seems that he never told Mo Li from the beginning to the end that he was competing for strength or something, right? He couldn't understand why Mo Li thought he was competing for strength. Speaking of which, besides speed, there is also more than strength. Bounce, balance, flexibility. Yes, there are brains, IQ and so on. Gee, why are you so narrow-minded? Okay, Lin Yong stopped pretending. In fact, he was actually trying to induce Mo Li with words just now, giving Mo Li the illusion that he was competing for strength. When Mo Li was paralyzed and careless, he used a strange move to severely injure Mo Li. It's a psychological tactic. Quote. Mo Li's face over there was as red as a pig's liver, and his body was trembling. Mahler Gobi, you have insulted me, but you still want to laugh at me for my stupid writing. It's so deceiving. You fool, you forced me to do this. Mo Li became angry. He suddenly grabbed his seriously injured right arm and pulled hard. He actually tore off his right arm. Lin Yong was shocked at that time. He didn't expect that Mo Li would actually harm himself. This mud horse is a cruel person. But he also felt that Mo Li was a bit stupid. Even if his right arm was severely damaged by his rapier and was considered useless, there was no need to tear his arm off directly, right? So this is a fierce man who even beats himself up when he gets angry. Aha! At this time, Mo Li's whole body tensed up, and he suddenly shouted, and a brand new arm grew out of the severed wound. Exactly the same as Bick, the crazy child-rearing man in a certain pearl. Hiss! Lin Yong was so horrified that he couldn't help but take a breath of cold air. He was a little dumbfounded. I'll give it a try, can I still play like this? Reborn after a broken arm, he is a demon awakener. Luo Sidong saw it, and she quickly reminded Lin Yong. Lin Yong, be careful, I'm afraid this guy will be difficult to deal with. As the demon awakened, Lin Yong narrowed his eyes. The demonic talent is a very rare talent, belonging to the transformation system in the superhuman system. It is characterized by super recovery, immortality and mental attack. Of course, the so-called immortal body does not mean that it is really invincible. It's just that if you don't severely damage the weak point, that is, the heart and brain, you can recover indefinitely, and you can't kill it no matter how hard you hit it. Therefore, the key point in fighting an awakened demon is to recognize that the opponent is an awakened demon and severely damage his heart and brain to kill him. Yes, if I guess correctly, he will launch a mental attack on you next, which will probably be difficult to deal with. Luo Sidong became a little nervous. Lin Yong, why don't we retreat first? The mental attack of a 5th-level demon powerhouse is no joke. You want to escape now. It's too late. However, before Luo Sidong finished speaking, Mo Li over there had already taken action in advance. He sneered and clapped his palms together. Magic Thousand Eyes, open. At that moment, Mo Li's body began to change. Not only did he become larger, turning into a giant 2 meters tall, but his skin also became dark. His face gradually became more ferocious, with his fangs exposed and his eyes red, ferocious and violent. But the most frightening thing was that he had eyes growing all over his body. They were so densely packed that he couldn't even count how many there were. And those eyes can blink and roll, which makes people's hair stand on end. What the hell is this? Lin Yong took a breath. He felt that Mo Li's demonic style was simply ugly. At the same time, it reminded him of a certain monster card. That's just as ugly. You brat, you're done. Mo Li knew that Lin Yong was extremely fast, so he quickly used his ultimate move without giving Lin Yong any time to react. Thousand Eyes Impact. Following Mo Li's violent shout, all the dense eyes on his body looked at Lin Yong, and an invisible energy shock swept towards Lin Yong. It's over, it's a mental attack. Luo Sidong's pretty face changed drastically, and it was too late to hide now. Looking at Lin Yong, not only did his face remain calm, he even almost laughed out loud. He actually used a mental attack on him. Didn't he know that his Sharingan could rebound the mental attack? If Mo Li had used spiritual attacks on him before he obtained Shisui's pair of Sharingan eyes, he might have panicked and immediately used 3,000 thunderbolts to lead Luo Sidong away. But now, he has the Sharingan of the most powerful illusion genius Shisui, which can invalidate illusions and rebound mental attacks. Is he scared? Even under this situation, Mo Li used mental attacks on him, which was like lighting up the toilet and looking for S. Sharingan, open! Lin Yong shouted coldly in his heart, and he instantly opened the second Magatama Sharingan. At that moment, the mental impact targeting Lin Yong all rebounded. Over there, Mo Li was already happy after using his ultimate move, Thousand Eyes Impact. Because of his mental attack, even the 5th-level mid-level and high-level experts may not be able to resist it. If it is so powerful, then Lin Yong will certainly not be able to resist it. As long as his mental attack works, Lin Yong will faint instantly. At that time, he could easily kill Lin Yong. As for Luo Sidong, he saw that Luo Sidong was quite beautiful, so he had to play a few games before killing him. Boom! The mental impact that bounced back all returned to its original owner, hitting each of Mo Li's eyes. What's going on? Ah! My eyes! Mo Li felt a little strange at first, and then screamed in pain. Due to the mental shock being bounced back from the front, the densely packed eyes on his body were bleeding, and they were all closed in pain. Even his own eyes were implicated, causing him to subconsciously close them tightly in pain. As the saying goes, when masters compete with each other, victory or defeat can be determined in an instant. How could Lin Yong let such a big flaw pass? Whoosh! Lin Yong used 3,000 thunderbolts and rushed in front of Mo Li instantly. Thunder type, Reikiri, puff. Lin Yong penetrated Mo Li's left chest with one move. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Mo Li's bloodshot eyes widened with an expression of disbelief. He never imagined that he could defeat the mental attack of a 5th-level mid to high-level expert. Not only did it not work on Lin Yong, but it actually bounced back to Lin Yong. This mud horse. How? How could this? Mo Li spit out a mouthful of blood and fell heavily to the ground, turning into a lifeless corpse. Seeing that Mo Li was no longer moving on the ground, Lin Yong took a breath, shook off the blood on his arm, and then suddenly fired a water dragon bomb at a place nearby. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Luo Sidong was a little confused. What's wrong? Are there ferocious beasts there? No. Lin Yong shook his head. He walked to the small pool, squatted down, and began to wash his hands. I have some blood on my hands, I just want to wash them. Quote. Luo Sidong was speechless for a moment. Are you here to use a water-type ultimate move just to wash your hands? So elegant. But when Luo Sidong thought about it, it seemed that this was really Lin Yang's style, which was a bit unpredictable. Luo Sidong turned around and looked at Mo Li's body next to him. Lin Yong, that guy should be dead, right? Her choice of words is also very particular. For those who are awakened by the demon type, only when they are completely dead can they truly die. Totally dead. Lin Yong nodded. That guy's heart was stabbed by me, he will definitely not survive. Lin Yong naturally knew the characteristics of the awakened demon type, so he attacked Mo Li's heart at that time. As long as the heart and brain were destroyed, even if Mo Li was an awakened demon with strong recovery power, he would still be dead. In fact, Lin Yong was a little lucky. If Mo Li hadn't launched a mental attack, which was rebounded by his Sharingan, causing himself to become disordered and revealing such a big flaw, it would have been quite difficult for him to kill Mo Li instantly. After all, Mo Li was originally a 5th-level powerhouse. Even if his speed was not as fast as that of him using 3,000 thunderbolts, it would not be much different. Even if Mo Li uses the demonic talent and switches to the demonic form, his speed, power and physical strength will increase dramatically. Coupled with the unique immortality of the demon system, in that case, Lin Yong would probably have to spend a lot of time to kill Mo Li. By the way, Lin Yong, I have a question for you. Luo Sidong's big eyes looked at Lin Yong, full of curiosity. You want to ask me why that guy suddenly shouted in pain and why he launched a mental attack on me? Nothing happened to me, right? Lin Yong saw through it at a glance. Aha, Luo Sidong nodded quickly. At that time, I saw that the eyes on that guy were bleeding, and he screamed in pain. It was obvious that something must have happened that I don't know about. Actually, nothing special happened. Lin Yong spread his hands. It's just that the mental attack that guy launched against me was bounced back by me. Ah, Luo Sidong was stunned for a moment. She didn't understand something. Psychic attack. Rebound. Yeah, it's precisely because I bounced back that those mental attacks didn't work on me. Lin Yong nodded. But, why can you bounce back those mental attacks? Can these mental attacks still be bounced back? Luo Sidong was a little confused. Although she can't be said to be well informed, she is still a once-in-a-100-year genius of the Rolos tribe. In addition, she is also eager to learn, so she has a general idea of how to deal with mental attacks. Either you have to use strength that far exceeds that of the enemy to withstand it, or you have to rely on the telepathic awakener who is a support in the team to activate the telepathic barrier to withstand this special attack method of mental attack. But not only had she never heard of the rebound mental attack Lin Yong was talking about, it wasn't even recorded in the Encyclopedia of Awakeners. This can be said to be a very new way of coping. Ahem, this involves the secret of my talent. Lin Yong pretended to be mysterious. So that's your innate ability. Luo Sidong became even more curious. Lin Yong, just tell me, how did you bounce back those mental attacks? We said it's a secret, so we definitely can't tell it casually. Then, what about this? Let's exchange secrets. Luo Sidong was so curious that she felt like there was an itchy worm in her heart. She worked hard to figure out the situation. Tell me how you rebound mental attacks, and I'll tell you a secret about me. The secret about you. Lin Yong turned around, looked at Luo Sidong carefully, and shook his head. No, I know almost all the secrets about you. Luo Sidong. In the next hour or so, Lin Yong and Luo Sidong continued to move forward and encountered 4 or 5 third-level ferocious beasts intermittently, but they were quickly eliminated by the two of them. Luo Sidong looked at the corpse of a third-level ferocious beast that fell in front of her. She pursed her lips and felt a little unsatisfied. Lin Yong, we encountered so many ferocious beasts along the way. I haven't even had enough of killing them. Quote. Lin Yong smiled. It's not unusual to say this from a tough and fierce man, but it's a bit inconsistent to say it from a beautiful and cute girl like Luo Sidong, Lao Tai. But Lin Yong can also understand why Luo Sidong said that. Luo Sidong had just broken through the night before yesterday, reaching the 2nd level of advanced strength. The power of the divine light has also increased a lot, and her desire to fight will definitely increase accordingly. If you want to feel the feeling of becoming stronger by fighting ferocious beasts, this shouldn't be too normal. However, the number of ferocious beasts in the occupied area number 9, which originally had more ferocious beasts, and the levels of the ferocious beasts were stronger, the two of them have been here for half a day, and the number of ferocious beasts they encountered was not even as high as in the occupied area number 5 before. How could Luo Sidong do this? Not depressed. In fact, Lin Yong was a bit unhappy. When it came to killing ferocious beasts, he felt that it would be more enjoyable to do it in large groups. But he didn't particularly care. After all, Wang Zuan was also in the occupied area of number 9. He believed that Wang Zuan's black hole attributes, well, the attributes of the god of wealth. Thump thump, thump thump thump. At this time, their mobile phones continuously sounded message notification tones. Both of them were a little strange, so they took out their mobile phones to check, only to find that the class group had exploded. What's going on? Have those classmates' accounts been hacked? Luo Sidong was stunned, as if she had seen something extraordinary. It makes sense that 1 or 2 had their accounts hacked, but this. 28, 29, hiss. 30 classmates had their accounts hacked. This is a bit unreasonable. Lin Yong was also a little confused. There is no other reason. At this moment, the classmates in the class seem to be suffering from some serious illness, and they are all sending messy messages to the class. Woo, I'm going to die, crying. Mom, Dad, I'm sorry for you. I feel like I'm about to die, crying loudly. Ha ha ha. Other people who are admitted to a top university spend their days playing abalone and playing music at night, but the next day I will turn into a piece of shit in the belly of a ferocious beast. I am so miserable, ha ha ha. Lin Yong discovered that these students were not only having seizures in the class, but also in their circle of friends. On December 25th, at 4:16 p.m., I will die young, smile, scissor hands selfie. I may become a piece of shit tomorrow, but please remember that I was once handsome, smile, Minji smile selfie. I don't want this fairy to die, and I don't want to turn into a piece of shit crazy, self-portrait with a grieved expression. What's going on? Lin Yong was a little confused, but found that there was an explosion in the grade group, and many classmates were also going crazy there. Classmate Li Meimei, have you seen me? I am right next to you. It seems that we are going to die soon, but can you grant me a wish before I die? Ooh, classmate Su Kun, tell me, I know you have been secretly in love with me, even if you confess your love to me, I will promise you, crying loudly. I want to say, I'm going to die soon, can you let me have once? Shy, crying. Quote. Lin Yong pinched his chin. If he remembered correctly, 70 to 80% of his classmates, and more than 40% of his freshman class, all came to occupied area No. 9. Judging from their current appearance, they must have encountered some very powerful ferocious beast, or a very large group of ferocious beasts. Even the experts from the logistics teams of the Awakened Association and Hunter Alliance couldn't handle it. Lin Yong thought for a while and sent a message to the class group asking, what's wrong? What do powerful ferocious beasts and a huge herd of ferocious beasts mean to Lin Yong? Those are big money bags. Originally, the atmosphere in the class was quite sad, but now that they saw Lin Yang's caution, the students in the class were a little excited. Classmate Lin Yang. No, Brother Yang, it's really great to see you online. Please help Brother Yang, crying. Brother Yang, we have encountered a 4th-level ferocious beast and are about to die. Brother Yang, hurry up and save us. Crying. Brother Yang. No, foster father, we are here. Location coordinates. We were stopped by the 4th-level ferocious beast golden horned giant rhinoceros. We are about to die. Only you can save us now. Explosion cry. Golden horned giant rhinoceros. Seeing these 4 words, Lin Yang was slightly startled, and then his eyes lit up. The B-level commission he accepted in the Hunter Alliance was worth 30 million, and the target was the 4th-level ferocious beast, the golden horned giant rhinoceros. Holy shit, this is too much of a coincidence, right? Lin Yang was a little surprised. He and Luo Saidong had been wandering around the occupied area of number 9 for a long time, but they couldn't find the golden horned giant rhinoceros, but they happened to meet their classmates. Lin Yang was surprised when another classmate suddenly sent a message to complain. It's all because of that fat second-year guy who said that our senior brother would take care of us, but he foolishly provoked a golden horned giant rhinoceros and caused us great harm. Brother Yang, come quickly, we hear crying. Location coordinates. The fat guy from sophomore year. Puff. Lin Yang was immediately happy when he saw it. He didn't even need to think about it, he could guess it was Wang Zuan with a blind guess. Lin Yang almost didn't laugh out loud. Just now, he was a little strange as to why the golden horned giant rhinoceros would run to his classmates. It turned out to be Wang Zuan's fault again. Senior brother Wang played steadily. Luo Saidong also saw the message Lin Yang sent in the class group. She looked at Lin Yang. Lin Yang, do you want to go over and save everyone now? That's for sure. With so much money. Well, so many students are in danger. As a member of the class, how can I ignore my classmates while watching them fall into danger? Lin Yang looked upright and extremely serious. Luo Saidong seemed to know what Lin Yang was thinking. She covered her mouth and smiled without revealing it. Okay, let's go there. Good. After Lin Yang finished speaking, he picked up Luo Saidong. Ah, Lin Yang, why are you like this again? Hold me tight, I'm going to speed up. Lin Yang, please slow down. Slow down. Along with a scream, a 4th-level strongman was hit hard and turned into an afterimage. He hit the wall of the abandoned building not far behind and dented the wall. The 4th-level strongman's eyes turned white and he fainted. The last level 4 strongman who could barely compete was defeated, and all the students around him were panicking. 5 4th-level experts working together can't defeat the golden horned giant rhinoceros. It's over, we're going to be doomed. Ooh, I haven't been in love yet, I don't want to die so early. There are nearly 300 to 400 people in danger at the scene. There are almost 100 students among them. There is no doubt that the vast majority of them here are freshmen at the Gods Cultivation Academy. In fact, there were more than 200 freshmen from the Gods Training Academy who came to know 9 occupied area for training in the afternoon. They were responsible for recovering the corpses of ferocious beasts in 3 different areas in the center of number 9 occupied area. Although these freshmen are all crying now, in fact, they were laughing quite happily half an hour ago. At that time, they came to this area to help recover the bodies of the ferocious beasts. The previous work went smoothly. Even in the eyes of the freshmen, the number 9 occupied area, which was rumored to be quite dangerous, was nothing more than that. At that time, they had recovered almost all the corpses of the ferocious beasts here. In half an hour, they would be able to complete the task and leave here. No, when my mood got better, I started to be careless and careless. Some students even went over to strike up a conversation when they saw their sophomore seniors. Probably because of the senior brother filter, they all think that the fat sophomore senior brother is quite powerful. The sophomore brother was praised by many junior brothers, and he was obviously a little inflated, and he started to brag in various ways. He even boasted that his attacks could instantly kill level 3 ferocious beasts. These freshmen have just entered college, have little experience and are simple-minded. No, after hearing this fat senior brother talk about how powerful he is, they must want to see it. As a result, everyone started booing and asking the fat senior brother to show off his power. In the end, the fat senior brother chose a place where there were no people around, and bombarded an object that looked like a rockery. However, that is not a rockery at all, it is the back of the 4th level ferocious beast golden horned giant rhinoceros. Unexpectedly, the golden horned giant rhinoceros was successfully angered by the fat senior brother's sudden gesture. When the freshmen came back to their senses, they suddenly realized a problem. They could stab a 4th level ferocious beast at any time. That senior fat man was not a powerful person at all. He was just a cheat with full black hole attributes, right? But that's not the biggest trick. After the fat senior brother angered the golden horned giant rhinoceros, he ran extremely fast with his short legs. He said, "Junior brother, run quickly," and ran away without a trace in an instant. So skillful. How difficult is it to deal with the 4th level ferocious beast, the golden horned giant rhinoceros? It is no exaggeration to say that it would take a 5th level expert to barely kill it. However, most of the people sent by the Awakened Association to recover the corpses of the ferocious beasts were logistics personnel, and their strength and talents were not very strong. Even if each recovery team is equipped with a 4th level strongman as a security guarantee, they still can't defeat the golden horned giant rhinoceros. Now, these freshmen looked at the golden horned giant rhinoceros, which was 15 or 6 meters high in front of them, like a high-rise building, and they all felt that they were going to be doomed. The logistics recovery personnel of the Awakened Association around them also looked miserable, thinking that they were about to die too. They all hated that fat man. They said they were going to sway people and find a strong team of hunters to come over for support. However, it took a long time and they still didn't come back. This was obviously a lie. Classmate Guzu, you are the only one left here who can fight. Use your fire talent to deal with it, otherwise we will all be killed by it. Yes, classmate Guzu, it's up to you now. Even if you can't defeat it, you can still delay it for a while with your fire attacks. Yes, Guzu is here too, and many students have placed their last hopes on Guzu. As long as we can delay for some time, there may be reinforcements, and everyone will be saved. However, Guzu looked reluctant. He was a little afraid of death. I am only a 2nd level advanced person. How could my fire attacks hurt the 4th level ferocious beast golden horned giant rhinoceros? I won't go. Although everyone is now unable to retreat or hide, there is still a big gap between the first person to die and the last person to die. He does not want to make any futile resistance. Besides, who is this Guzu? The 2nd high school student in the Sha Kingdom, a genius among geniuses, from a well-off family. Why should I take risks for ordinary people like you? Everyone was speechless. If they gave up completely, it would be tantamount to waiting for death. At this time, someone suddenly shouted excitedly, "Great, Lin Yang, oh no, it's Brother Yang." Brother Yang said he would rush over to save us, we are saved. Really, it turns out that classmate Lin Yang is also in occupied area number 9, so we can be saved. Many freshmen were a little excited. In their opinion, if Lin Yang could defeat Luo Yang, who was the 4th level intermediate and ranked 49th on the strong list, his strength might have reached the 5th level, so he should be able to deal with the golden horned giant rhinoceros. Brother Yang, who is here? Is it your senior brother? The eyes of the surrounding recyclers from the Awakened Association lit up. They were thinking that if a 3rd year or 4th year student from the Gods Cultivation Academy came here, he might really be able to deal with the golden horned giant rhinoceros. No, Brother Yang is our classmate. In other words, he is also a freshman, right? The recycling workers were like deflated balloons, their eyes suddenly dimmed. In their opinion, how could a freshman be able to deal with the 4th level ferocious beast, the golden horned giant rhinoceros? Yes, but don't look at Brother Yang as just a new student. He is very strong and can easily defeat even a 4th level intermediate expert. Those classmates seemed to have become Lin Yang's little fans. What? He is a novice, but he can easily defeat a 4th level intermediate powerhouse. The recyclers were a little dumbfounded, and they wondered if they had heard wrongly. Next to him, Guzu was pouring cold water. I think you are thinking too much. I'm afraid Lin Yang is just talking. How could he come here to save us? Guzu, just because you can't do it yourself, doesn't mean that Brother Yang can't do it, okay? He just makes sarcastic remarks here. That's right, I really thought everyone was as afraid of death as you are. A few classmates couldn't stand listening anymore. Even though Guzu and the others couldn't afford to offend him, they still fought back for Lin Yang. Guzu was a little embarrassed, but he was still very dissatisfied. He felt that Lin Yang was not a saint. How could he be willing to risk his life to fight the 4th-level beast for the sake of his classmates? Moreover, even if Lin Yang is willing to rush over, the golden-horned giant rhinoceros is almost in front of him now, so he can't rush over so quickly, right? Just as Guzu was thinking about it, the golden-horned giant rhinoceros had already arrived in front of everyone. It roared, and the terrifying sound could actually make the ground sink. Ah, we are going to die. The freshmen and the recycling staff were all so frightened that they burst into tears, feeling that they were going to be doomed. However, at this moment, the red firelight illuminated the entire surrounding space. A huge fireball, a huge fireball. Ah da 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 da. 5 or 6 huge fireballs with a diameter of 7 to 8 meters hit the golden-horned giant rhinoceros one after another, directly blowing the golden-horned giant rhinoceros away. At the same time, a black shadow fell heavily from the sky like a god descending. Bang! The moment his feet landed on the ground beneath his feet exploded. My dear 30 million. Oh no, my dear classmates, I'm coming. The person coming is none other than Lin Yang. Well, Lin Yang, you grabbed the wrong place. Wrong place. Ah, Lin Yang, did you do it on purpose? Luo Saidong's face turned red, and there was a bit of resentment in her eyes. Ah, sorry. Lin Yang put Luo Saidong down. Luo Saidong didn't pay too much attention. She also knew that Lin Yang just wanted to stop the golden-horned giant rhinoceros and had to free one hand to launch an attack, so it was normal for him to adjust the position of his left hand. Lin Yang, no, Brother Yang is here to save us. Brother Yang is so powerful, he really stopped the golden-horned giant rhinoceros and blew it away. Not far behind, many students from Class A recognized Lin Yang. They all had huge faces and excited moods. Brother Yang, is he the classmate you just mentioned, Lin Yang? The surrounding recyclers from the Awakened Association were a little stunned. In their opinion, the young man who came over was able to blow away the golden-horned giant rhinoceros with almost no effort. His strength must have reached at least the 5th level. He should be a senior expert, right? How could he be a freshman who just entered college? Yes, you may not think that Brother Yang has just entered college, but in fact, he is very strong. Even the seniors in our school and the masters on the strong list are no match for our Brother Yang. The students in Class A woke up and explained quickly. You defeated the top player in your senior year when you just entered college. Isn't this too exaggerated? The recycling workers took a deep breath, they were all shocked. Guzu also didn't expect it. He looked surprised. This guy actually came here. Is this fake? Yes, Guzu couldn't understand it. In his opinion, even if he was very reluctant to admit it, Lin Yang's talent and qualifications were obviously better than his. Logically speaking, such a genius among geniuses should be aloof. Why would he come here just for mediocre people like his classmates? Guzu, didn't you say that Brother Yang won't come? Did you see it? Our Brother Yang is here, and he is not as unloyal as you. That's right, a slap in the face. You're the second high school student in Sha country, and you're just a coward. Quote. Being criticized by his classmates again made Guzu even more embarrassed. Ahead, several classmates ran up. Brother Yang, it's great that you can come to save us, but that guy is a 4th-level ferocious beast. Are you sure you can deal with it? They were excited, but they also knew they couldn't be blindly optimistic, so they couldn't help but ask. Don't worry, it's just a 4th-level ferocious beast, I can deal with it. It's money, oh no, it's life, I will decide it. Lin Yang said. That's great, Brother Yang, then I'll leave it to you. The classmates were all overjoyed, and after speaking, they went back to share the good news with others. Don't worry, everyone, Brother Yang said that the golden-horned giant rhinoceros is nothing to him, and he can kill the golden-horned giant rhinoceros. It fell. Really, that's great, Brother Yang is awesome. The other freshmen were getting a little excited too. On the other hand, the recyclers from the Awakened Association around them were a little skeptical. That classmate can knock the golden horned giant rhinoceros away. It's really not easy. But the golden horned giant rhinoceros is a 4th level ferocious beast. Can he really kill the golden horned giant rhinoceros? I don't know. Anyway, I don't believe it. Even our super brother can't defeat the golden horned giant rhinoceros. How could he, a freshman, kill a 4th level ferocious beast? Let's take a look. If that classmate can really kill the golden horned giant rhinoceros, then his talent and qualifications are probably even more terrifying than Xiao Yuchen, the strongest high school student in this class. Guzu also snorted coldly. He did not believe that Lin Yang could easily kill the golden horned giant rhinoceros. He was even thinking that it would be best for Lin Yang and the golden horned giant rhinoceros to die together, then he would be happy. Ahead, Luo Saidong didn't know what the others were saying. She looked at Lin Yang. Lin Yang, that golden horned giant rhinoceros is a ferocious metal beast with a super hard body. Do you need me to cooperate with you? Why do Guzu and the recyclers think that Lin Yang can't deal with the golden horned giant rhinoceros? Why do they always emphasize the words, 4th level ferocious beast? Luo Saidong just said part of the reason. If you only look at the level, there is only 1 level difference between the 4th level ferocious beast and the 3rd level ferocious beast. It seems that there is not much difference. But in fact, the two can be said to be completely different. Not only is the price difference of killing 5 times, the 3rd level ferocious beast is 100,000, and the 4th level ferocious beast is 500,000. The main difference is that the 4th level ferocious beasts begin to have special attributes. Just like the golden horned giant rhinoceros, it has some metallic properties, such as its huge golden horn, which is a super rare precious metal, extremely hard, and is one of the necessary metals for making high-end weapons. In addition, the skin of the golden horned giant rhinoceros is also slightly metallic, so it is extremely hard. Even mid-level weapons may not be able to break through the defense easily. Its defense is indeed high, but compared with the previous dragon bone shield called Luo Yang, it is still a little behind. Lin Yang smiled slightly. Not to mention the 4th level gold-type beasts, he was not afraid of even the 5th level gold-type beasts. No matter how high its defense is, does it have as much penetrating damage as Reikiri's? Even if he retreats 10,000 steps, Reiki can't break through the defense. He still has a big move, Slaughterhouse, that he hasn't used yet. As long as he displays it, within the scope of the domain, he can slice the golden horned giant rhinoceros into thin slices. Luo Saidong nodded. She was about to tell Lin Yang to be careful, but at this moment, the golden horned giant rhinoceros not far ahead rose up. Roar! The golden horned giant rhinoceros was obviously angry. It roared and rushed towards Lin Yang. After all, it is also a 4th level ferocious beast, but it was blown away by a human boy. This is a great loss to its face. It decided that Lin Yang, a hateful human boy, must be trampled into a pulp. As for everyone else, eat them all. Lin Yang, it's coming. Luo Saidong reminded quickly. Lin Yang looked at the behemoth charging towards him. Not only did he not panic, but he raised the corners of his mouth slightly and his eyes turned into the shape of. Come just in time, obediently become my 30 million, oh no, 30.5 million. Lin Yang's eyes narrowed and he also rushed towards the golden horned giant rhinoceros. The target of the B-level mission he accepted was the golden horn of the golden horned giant rhinoceros. The golden horned giant rhinoceros looked at Lin Yang who was rushing over. It was a little stunned at first, and then its expression became a little contemptuous. Since Lin Yang has not used 3000 thunderbolts now, his speed is only the 1st level intermediate speed. For the golden horned giant rhinoceros, this is simply too slow. The golden horned giant rhinoceros raised its giant leg, trying to trample Lin Yang into a pulp. It's now. Lin Yang narrowed his eyes and immediately used 3000 thunderbolts, turning into a bolt of lightning and galloping away. The reason why he approached at normal speed was to lure the golden horned giant rhinoceros into attacking. The golden horned giant rhinoceros is a 4-legged ferocious beast. It has only 2 ways to attack. One is to use its hard golden horns to launch a sprint attack, and the other is to use its giant legs to perform a stampede attack. Now the golden horned giant rhinoceros raised its giant legs, which was the second attack method Lin Yang expected. Then, the flaw is revealed. Because one of its front legs has been raised, and the other front leg is the supporting leg, the gravity of the front body will be concentrated on the supporting leg. As long as you attack there, the center of gravity of the golden horned giant rhinoceros will be destroyed. Thunder element, Reikiri, Puff. Lin Yong once again used the combination of 3000 thunder plus thunder cut, and the lightning killed him instantly, like a bolt of lightning that penetrated the other front leg of the golden horned rhinoceros as a support. The golden horned giant rhinoceros howled in pain. Because its supporting legs were broken and its center of gravity was destroyed, the golden horned giant rhinoceros fell heavily to the ground. Bang! The golden horned giant rhinoceros is very large and can weigh hundreds of tons. Such a heavy fall will directly cause the ground to explode. It's now. Through Sanchin Lei Dong, he reached Lin Yong, who was 50 meters away. Without any hesitation, he pressed his hands on the ground. Sandstorm burial. Boom. Countless amounts of sand rise into the sky like huge waves, reaching a height of hundreds of meters, giving people a shocking feeling of blocking out the sky and the sun. Bye. This scene shocked everyone not far away and stunned them. Under Lin Yang's control, the monstrous sand that was hundreds of meters high was like a tsunami wave, instantly drowning the tiny, golden-horned giant rhinoceros. Sandstorm funeral. With Lin Yang's cold shout, the area covered by sand seemed to be exerted thousands of times of pressure, and the entire terrain was compressed. Under the terrifying pressure of millions or even tens of millions of tons, the body of the golden-horned giant rhinoceros underground was directly crushed. Puff puff. Countless pillars of blood shot out from the sand, and the scene was very shocking. Lin Yong exhaled and stood up slowly, a smile rising from the corner of his mouth. The fourth-level ferocious beast, the golden-horned giant rhinoceros, was successfully killed. What the hell is going on? The freshmen looked at the columns of blood spurting out of the sand in front of them, and they were a little dumbfounded. Then, what happened to the golden-horned giant rhinoceros? Was it killed by Brother Yang? Should they be killed, right? Didn't you see the blood spurting out? With such an exaggerated amount of bleeding, not to mention the golden-horned giant rhinoceros, Godzilla would probably have to burp, right? That means Brother Yang has already killed it. In just a short time. Here, I realize now that Brother Yang is so strong and has changed his attitude. It really shocked my worldview. Not only the freshmen, but also the recycling staff of the Awakened Association who had seen many big scenes were shocked and dumbfounded by Lin Yang. Did you see that? That freshman actually killed the fourth-level ferocious beast golden-horned giant rhinoceros, and it seemed that he only used 2 moves. The freshman killed the fourth-level ferocious beast with only 2 moves. What the hell? I saw him use a huge fireball to attack the golden-horned giant rhinoceros before. I thought he was the awakened fire element. As a result, he used the thunder element, the earth element, this mud horse, 3 elements awakening, and both are S-level elemental systems. This talent is too unbelievable, right? Holy shit, is this fake? Even Guzu, who disliked Lin Yang very much, was shocked and dumbfounded by Lin Yang at this moment. Lin Yang is very strong, even if he doesn't want to admit it, he still knows it. But he never expected that Lin Yang could be so strong. He felt that even a 6th-level Earth Element powerhouse might not be able to pull off that Earth Element ultimate move just now. Maid, is this guy really a freshman? Guzu gritted his teeth. He was so shocked by Lin Yang that he doubted his life. Not far ahead, Luo Sidong ran to Lin Yang's side. Lin Yang, that golden-horned giant rhinoceros is dead. Should be dead. Lin Yang nodded. Under the pressure of tens of millions of tons of sand in his sandstorm burial, even if the body of the golden-horned giant rhinoceros has certain metallic properties and is very hard, it will never be able to withstand such terrifying pressure and will be crushed. The columns of blood spurting out from the sand just now are the best proof. Lin Yang felt that even if the golden-horned giant rhinoceros was not dead after being buried in a sandstorm, it was not far away from death. Lin Yang squatted down, pressed his hands on the sand, and began to manipulate the sand to get out the golden-horned giant rhinoceros from the ground. In addition to confirming whether the golden-horned giant rhinoceros was dead or not, Lin Yang also had to cut off the golden horn of the golden-horned giant rhinoceros and send it to the Hunter Alliance because of accepting the commission. Only in this way can he complete the commission and obtain the 30 million commission fee. Boom! The land began to shake, and countless sand and soil surged out. After a while, the golden-horned giant rhinoceros was brought out. The body of the golden-horned giant rhinoceros was bloody, and many places had become bloody and bloody. It was obvious that the body had been crushed. Boom! The golden-horned giant rhinoceros was placed on the ground by the giant hand of sand and earth. To Lin Yang's surprise, the golden-horned giant rhinoceros actually still had some life. The golden-horned giant rhinoceros seemed unwilling to do so. It wanted to kill Lin Yang. It roared unwillingly and tried to get up. But in the end it couldn't get up, its head tilted, and it turned into a completely lifeless corpse. Lin Yang pinched his chin. After this battle with the golden-horned giant rhinoceros, he probably understood the limits of the A-level Earth skill, Sandstorm Burial. Sandstorm Burial is indeed a killing move, whether it is a single attack or a group attack. But when it comes to dealing with ferocious beasts, I'm afraid the limit is only level 4 ferocious beasts. If it were used to deal with 5th level ferocious beasts, I'm afraid it would be of little use. However, he didn't pay much attention to it. Anyway, the system would gradually make up for his shortcomings. When he meets stronger opponents, he would probably be able to unlock S-level skills. Lin Yang kicked off his legs and jumped onto the head of the golden-horned giant rhinoceros. Luo Sidong next to him was a little surprised. Lin Yang, what are you? Lin Yang smiled and said nothing. He pulled out the weapon Qianju from his back, injected lightning power into Qianju, and easily cut off the huge golden horn of the golden-horned giant rhinoceros. Luo Sidong finally understood. Material collection, are you accepting a commission from the Hunter Alliance? Make some extra money. Lin Yang chuckled, then took out a space storage device from his body and absorbed the huge golden horn into it. He spent 18 million to buy this space storage device from the official mall of the Association of Awakeners when he was in class in the morning. At that time, his body ached terribly. Luo Sidong couldn't help it anymore, and finally asked the question she had wanted to ask for a long time. Lin Yang, are you short of money? Forehead. Lin Yang didn't know how to answer this question for a while. To be honest, if you want to say that he is short of money, he doesn't seem to be very short. The 3 waves of warmth that Wang Zuan sent him in the occupied area of number 5 made him earn 50 to 60 million. In the following 5 days, although there was no assist from Wang Zuan, almost 4 to 5 million were earned every day. Generally speaking, he is not short of money. But as for cultivation resources, he can now absorb almost 3 spiritual crystals a day, which is 90 spiritual crystals a month. Excluding the 20 issued by the school, he has a vacancy of 70 every month. 70 coins per month, that means he personally has to spend 7 million per month. And that doesn't include the money spent later on purchasing high-end weapons and equipment. So if Lin Yang doesn't make more money, he always feels uneasy. If he had to describe it in one sentence, Lin Yang felt that he was not yet at the point where he had financial freedom and could completely relax. Lin Yang, actually if you are really short of money, you can come to me. Luo Sidong looked proud. Don't look at me like this, but I am actually very rich. I know you are rich, but it's not an option to keep asking you to borrow money. Lin Yang spread his hands, feeling that it would be better to rely on himself. Luo Sidong nodded. She thought what Lin Yang said made sense. On your own, it's pretty good. But why did I think of lending money to Lin Yang just now? It's so strange. Luo Sidong's face turned red. Lin Yang jumped off the head of the golden-horned giant rhinoceros. At this time, many freshmen, including classmates from Awakening Class A, ran over. Brother Yang, I thought I was going to die just now, but I didn't expect. Anyway, thank you so much. Brother Yang, you are my reborn parents. Brother Yang, you are so awesome. You actually killed the 4th level ferocious beast golden-horned giant rhinoceros in 2 moves. I want to make you my idol. Brother Lin Yang, you are so handsome. The students who ran over almost all turned into Lin Yang's little fans, and surrounded Lin Yang with admiration on their faces. Lin Yang showed a shy smile. As a top student and department manager in his previous life, he deeply understood the importance of interpersonal relationships. No, the classmates came to thank him and support him with admiration, and he had to respond no matter what. He felt that it was the beginning of the new semester anyway, and there were all new classmates. How about giving yourself a sunny and cheerful personality? Well, that's it. Anyway, my personality is sunny and cheerful. Lin Yong was about to respond, but at this time. Task. As a strong man, how can you talk to these weaklings? Taunt these weaklings and laugh at them. Reward. Advanced sacrifice. Bald three-eyed martial artist, unlocking A-level light skills, Sun Fist. Lin Yong. Hee, you stupid system is here again, right? Lin Yong couldn't help but roll his eyes at that time. He's not a villain, so why would he do things that make fun of his classmates? Doesn't this make him lose his own image? Originally, Lin Yong planned to use his brain to fight the system, but until he saw Jiu with a sour expression not far away, he didn't bother to think about it. Tears turn into laughter. God points out, come out. Laugh at him. Ha ha ha. Lin Yong pointed at Jiu and laughed. The classmates are so cute and friendly, so they must not laugh. But Jiu's is different. This guy has provoked him, so he is not a good bird. He does not feel any psychological pressure when he laughs at Jiu's. Luo Saitong. Jiu. Everyone was a little confused by the god Lin Yong. What's going on? Even Luo Saitong was a little confused. She didn't quite understand what Lin Yang's divine finger meant. However, there are always players who like to speculate. Those classmates who were unhappy with Jiu and criticized Jiu seemed to have thought of something. With a pop, they also laughed. Ha 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 ha. They knew that Lin Yong and Jiu were not easy to deal with, and Jiu had been taught a lesson by Lin Yong before. No, now that I see Jiu hiding in the crowd like a quail, not daring to come out to deal with the ferocious beast, and seeing Lin Yong looking sour when everyone admires him, Lin Yong will definitely laugh at him when he sees it. Ha 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 ha. Laughter is contagious. When other students in Class A, freshmen, saw those students laughing so happily, they seemed to understand what those students were laughing about, and they started laughing too. Ha 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 ha. Then, the freshmen in other classes were also infected, and they also pointed at Jiu and laughed. Then, inexplicably, the recyclers from the Awakened Association also laughed. Ha 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 ha, I can't do it anymore, my stomach hurts from laughing. Ha 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 ha, Yanzu, what are you laughing at? Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha, I don't even know what I'm laughing at, but I just think it's funny, ha ha ha. In the end, the 200 to 300 people in the audience all looked at Jiu and burst into laughter. Quote. Jiu looked like he had eaten shit and was extremely embarrassed. He felt so embarrassed, but couldn't figure out why he was embarrassed. Goose. Even Luo Saitong laughed so much that he made a goose sound. Forehead. This made Lin Yong a little confused. He laughed at Jiu because it was necessary for the system mission. But other people, why? And all of them laughed more happily than him. The mission is successful, and you get the advanced sacrifice, Bald Three-Eyed Martial Arts Master, which unlocks the A-level light skill, Sun Fist. On the altar of the Sun God, a rag doll with a bald head and eyes on its forehead appeared. The golden sacred fire was lit and the rag doll began to burn. Although I am not strong and have no ability to deal with powerful enemies, I will still stand up for the earth, even if it costs me my life. A determined voice sounded. The rag doll burned out, its power floated up, and was eventually absorbed by the huge golden egg above. Coming. Lin Yang's eyes trembled and his body glowed slightly. He successfully understood the Sun Fist. Lin Yong nodded secretly. He was quite satisfied with the Sun Fist given by the system this time. What is the positioning of Sun Boxing? It's not high damage, nor high defense, it's disruption. Using Sun Fist can produce a blinding effect in a short period of time. The enemy will have to close their eyes due to the extremely dazzling light, thus interrupting the enemy's rhythm. It is an excellent move for launching a surprise attack or running away. Understanding Sun Fist has undoubtedly greatly enhanced Lin Yang's interference ability. Lin Yong feels that hexagonal warrior is no longer enough to describe him now. Well, at least it has to be an octagonal warrior or a nine-sided warrior, right? Lin Yong seemed to be glowing just now. Was it my imagination? Luo Saitong was vaguely aware of it, but she didn't know if she had seen it wrong, and she felt refreshed. Next to them, everyone else was laughing, and at this time some recycling workers came up. Classmate Lin Yong, right. The golden horned giant rhinoceros is already dead, right? Can we go up and recover the body? The recycling staff were quite polite and asked Lin Yong for his opinion before recycling. The main reason is that the strength Lin Yong showed just now was too changeable. They all know that Lin Yong is a strong man, so they naturally have to treat him respectfully. Yes, but this golden horned giant rhinoceros is so huge, how do you recycle it? Lin Yong saw that the large trucks in the recycling department could hold the carcass of the golden horned giant rhinoceros, but the golden horned giant rhinoceros must have weighed at least hundreds of tons. How could it be moved with only 8 or 9 people? Classmate Lin Yong, in fact, recovering the bodies of ferocious beasts does not necessarily require brute force. The captain of the recovery team noticed Lin Yang's curiosity. He smiled, explained, and walked to the body of the golden horned giant rhinoceros. Lin Yong understood immediately. So, it depends on talent. Classmate Lin Yong, you are not only powerful, but you also have a very quick mind. The team leader smiled and nodded. Yes, in fact, we mostly rely on talent to recover the corpses of ferocious beasts. As he said that, the captain placed his right hand on the body of the golden horned giant rhinoceros. The next second, the body of the golden horned giant rhino was shrinking rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye. Eventually, it became the size of a pig. Is this the gift of being able to shrink objects? Lin Yong was a little surprised, but he quickly figured it out. Yes, classmate Lin Yong. The team leader nodded and said with a smile, my talent is called shrinking and I can shrink dead objects infinitely. After saying that, the team leader looked at the other person beside him. The man understood the idea, stretched out his hands, and made something like a bubble. After the bubble wrapped the smaller golden horned giant rhinoceros body, it actually levitated. Classmate Lin Yong, my talent is space levitation, which allows me to levitate objects within a certain size. The recovery team member explained with a smile, and then with a gesture, the body of the golden horned giant rhinoceros wrapped in floating bubbles floated away, and finally entered the container of a large truck. Shrinking plus space levitation, this combination is simply invincible. Lin Yong looked in amazement. His eyes were opened. It turned out that there was so much knowledge in recovering the corpses of ferocious beasts, and he had to use a combination of talents. It's just cooperation between colleagues. The team leader was modest. Like other members of our team and other recovery personnel in our recovery department, they all have the talent to quickly recover the bodies of ferocious beasts. I see. Not far away, other recyclers were secretly surprised to see Lin Yong and the team leader chatting so immersely. Holy crap, am I reading that right? The young man who can easily kill the 4th-level ferocious beast, the golden horned giant rhinoceros, actually started chatting with Lao Lu and the others, and the chat was very lively. Yeah, I can't believe it. That young man doesn't have the airs of a strong man at all. Isn't he too easygoing? In fact, it is normal for them to feel surprised. Not to mention the vast majority of strong people, especially those with strength above level 5, have great personalities, tempers, and great arrogance. Therefore, generally speaking, strong people will ignore these low-level awakened people who can only do recycling work, and sometimes even look at them with indifference or even contempt. On the other hand, Lin Yong was able to have such a lively chat with the recyclers, which was really rare in their eyes. I really envy Lao Lu and the others for being able to chat with such a powerful genius. I also want to chat with that classmate. I'm okay. It's just a pity that I wasn't able to take a picture of that classmate's battle scene just now. It was probably the most shocking battle scene I've ever seen. A group of recycling workers were chatting when suddenly, there were a lot of shouts faintly coming from the distance, and there were dense black shadows approaching in the sky. Is it my imagination? Why do I feel like there are a lot of people running towards us over there? Someone noticed. After that person said that, other people around him also looked over there. It seems like it's true. There are really many people running towards us. It's not just that. Look at the sky, there seem to be a lot of things flying towards us over there. I saw it. What is that? A big bird. That looks like a flying beast, a flying beast. Many people saw it, and they all looked frightened. Lin Yong, something seems to be flying over there. Luo Saidong also noticed it, and she quickly told Lin Yong. Is it? After what Luo Saidong said, Lin Yang stopped chatting with the recyclers and looked up in the direction pointed by Luo Saidong. Due to possessing the Sharingan, Lin Yang's pupil power far exceeded that of others. He could tell at a glance that there were indeed many things flying over in the sky in the distance, and they were all flying ferocious beasts. The so-called flying beasts or beasts with the ability to fly, such as bird beasts, bat-like beasts, insect-like beasts, etc. They have wings and can launch attacks in midair, which is far more difficult than ordinary ferocious beasts. Lin Yang, those seem to be flying ferocious beasts. Luo Saidong also saw it. Well, I saw it. Lin Yang nodded. He had already roughly figured out that those were birds and beasts, and was about to explain it to Luo Saidong. Whoosh. And at this time, someone had already come to them. It should be an awakened person with a speed talent. He is very fast, and can even reach the level of a 4th level powerhouse. Quick. Run. There are many giant winged wind birds flying over there. If you don't run, you will be doomed. The speed awakener was also kind-hearted. After he ran over, he stopped and shouted to everyone in front of him. Giant winged wind bird. That is actually the 4th level flying ferocious beast, giant winged wind bird. Many people were frightened when they heard the words, giant winged wind bird. Level 4 ferocious beast. Lin Yang's body trembled. Yes, giant winged wind birds, and there are at least 500 to 600 of them. The speed awakener said, 500 or 600 heads. Lin Yang's body trembled again. 500 or 600. Is this too exaggerated? I'm afraid all of them are already out in force. How could they provoke so many giant winged wind birds? Everyone at the scene was a little frightened. The giant winged wind bird is a 4th level ferocious beast, and it is also a 4th level flying ferocious beast with the ability to fly. It is already difficult to deal with, but now the number is so exaggerated, it is simply a death rhythm. Maid, when I talk about this, I get angry. The speed type awakener had an annoyed expression. I don't know where a fat guy came from. He somehow angered the leader of the giant winged wind bird. No, the leader of the giant winged wind bird said with the order, all the giant winged wind birds in the tribe were dispatched to hunt him down. Originally, it would have been fine for that fat guy to hide in some place where no one was around, but in the end, that fat guy was running all over the world, causing trouble for the rest of us. The speed awakener couldn't help but burst out loud as he spoke, Joe. I'm getting more and more angry the more I talk about it. Forehead. Luo Saidong felt inexplicably familiar, and a character immediately flashed through her mind. Could this be caused by that senior brother Wang again? But now that things had happened, she was no longer entangled, and quickly turned to look at Lin Yang, wanting to ask Lin Yang what to do. After all, the giant winged wind bird is a 4th level ferocious beast, and it also has the ability to fly. In terms of difficulty, it is even more difficult to deal with than the golden-horned giant rhinoceros just now. She felt that even if Lin Yang had the ability to easily kill a 4th level ferocious beast, it would be difficult to deal with 500 to 600 4th level ferocious beasts. Question mark. However, before Luo Saidong could speak, she saw the corners of Lin Yang's mouth raised crazily and his eyes turned into the shape of. She was a little confused at that time. Oh my god, is it possible that Lin Yang is not afraid at all in such a bad situation? Instead, he feels excited. This means that Lin Yang can easily deal with 500 or 600 level 4 flying ferocious beasts. Hiss. Just when Luo Saidong was shocked, those fleeing over there also ran over one after another. Ah, run, otherwise you will die. Get out of the way, get out of the way. Don't block the road. That's the 4th level flying ferocious beast, the giant winged wind bird. There are so many giant winged wind birds. Oh my god, how come there are so many giant winged wind birds? At this time, as they got closer and closer, the recycling staff and students at the rear also saw it, and their faces also changed with fear. Isn't that the fat guy from the sophomore year? I know why there are so many giant winged wind birds flying over. Everyone, look there. Several freshmen recognized the fat figure at the back of the fleeing crowd. They all looked enlightened and quickly pointed out the way to others. Others looked in the direction pointed at, and when they recognized the chubby face, their expressions became constipated. Maid, let me tell you why there are so many giant winged windbirds flying towards us for no reason. It turns out that it was the fat sophomore who did it again. Grandma, we just got over a difficult situation. Within a few minutes, another one comes. And this one is even more fierce. Wow, are we destined to suffer this disaster today? Gone, you're here again. I've suffered so much from this fat man. It is obvious that the chubby guy at the back of the fleeing crowd is the god of wealth, Wang Zuan. Many students couldn't help it and shouted to Wang Zuan, who was not far away, "Hey! You fat sophomore, don't come over. Don't come over." Over there, Wang Zuan, who was running very fast on his short legs, seemed to be looking for something. When he saw Lin Yang not far ahead, he was so excited that tears filled his eyes. "Ah! Junior brother Lin Yang, I've finally found you. Please save me, senior brother, because I'm about to be eaten by those giant winged wind birds." Wang Zuan accelerated like crazy and ran towards Lin Yang and Luo Saidong. "Ah, you fat sophomore, even though I told you not to come over, you still want to come over. Ah, it's over, we are going to be killed by this fat man again." All the students were about to collapse. They originally wanted Wang Zuan to run somewhere else, so that they could attract those giant winged wind birds away. Unexpectedly, the more they shouted, the more Wang Zuan ran towards them. The recyclers also had constipated looks on their faces. They still remembered that Wang Zuan ran away earlier, saying that he was going to shake people off and bring a powerful team of hunters over. As a result, this is not shaking people. This is pulling monsters. Finally, Wang Zuan ran in front of Lin Yang and Luo Saidong. He was panting and looked like he was half dead, but I can be considered alive, ho, ho, hu. Forehead. Luo Saidong was also a little ashamed. "Senior brother Wang, how did you provoke those giant winged wind birds? Junior brother and sister, you can't blame me. This has nothing to do with me. It was that little fool who stole my bread, so I blew it up. But who knows? Who knew that little fool was the son of the leader of the giant winged wind bird? That's why. Wang Zuan looked innocent and explained while breathing heavily. "If you accidentally explode birds, you can pull out a large group of giant winged wind birds. Brother Wang, you are awesome." Several black lines appeared on Luo Saidong's head. She was about to say something, but the surroundings were already in chaos. "Why don't you run away? Are you waiting here to die? It's not that we don't run, it's that there's no road over there and we can't run." "There's no road over there. Then, doesn't that mean we're doomed?" I don't want to die." Probably due to the atmosphere being infected, the recyclers with Lin Yang and Luo Saidong also panicked. "There are 500 to 600 level 4 ferocious beasts, what should we do now? Are we really going to be finished? It's really going to be over. There are 1 or 2 4th level ferocious beasts, and we and classmate Lin Yang can resist them. But now, there are 500 to 600 4th level ferocious beasts. Don't be nervous, I can deal with them." At this time, Lin Yang finally spoke. "Since they are so anxious to give me money, oh no, they are here to die, then I will help them." After saying that, Lin Yang walked out step by step. The recyclers were a little confused. "Classmate Lin Yang, are you planning to deal with hundreds of level 4 flying ferocious beasts by yourself?" Wang Zuan was overjoyed and gave Lin Yang a thumbs up. "Junior brother Lin Yang, senior brother, I know you are the most powerful, so senior brother came here to ask you for help." Not far behind, others also noticed. Brother Yang walked out. What did he want to do? Do you want to deal with hundreds of level 4 ferocious beasts by yourself? Are they so fierce? Brother Yang, come on, kill them. The students seemed to see hope. They were all cheering up and cheering Lin Yang up. However, the recyclers felt that there was little hope and they shook their heads repeatedly. Student Lin Yang is indeed strong, but those are not just 1 or 2 level 4 ferocious beasts, but hundreds of them. And they are all flying ferocious beasts. Without flying equipment, you can't do it at all, right? Yes, without flying equipment, even a 5th level and 6th level expert would have a hard time defeating the giant winged wind bird. Oh, it's a pity that such a super genius like classmate Lin Yang will die here today along with us mediocre people. Just as everyone was discussing, 5 giant winged wind birds flew over first. A trace of ferocity flashed in their eyes, and they swooped down one after another, charging towards everyone. Ah, it's flying over, we're going to be doomed. Many people were so scared that they hugged each other and burst into tears. One head costs 500,000, 5 means 2.5 million. If it costs several hundred, it means, hiss. You beast, you must die. At this moment, Lin Yong took action and stretched out his right hand. Room. A dark semicircle rapidly expanded. Domain system. Oh my god. Lin Yong, he actually. Luo Saidong felt it, and her eyes widened in surprise. Police Zhang is dead. Lin Yong pulled out Qianju from his back and slashed across with his sword. Puff 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 puff. At that moment, the 5 giant winged wind birds that rushed forward were all cut in half. Seeing this scene, everyone behind was shocked. Actually, I actually killed 5 4th level ferocious beasts with one move. Oh my god. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.